I was minding my own business, clicking on some sketchy email like an absolute genius, and the next thing I know, I wake up tied to a chair with knives stabbed through both my hands. Yeah, both of them. Pinned to the armrests like some kind of human butterfly collection. Real classy. My shirt's covered in blood. Everything hurts. And I'm thinking, okay, Sulin, you've had rough mornings before, but this is new. Then I look around. I'm in some fancy European-looking room with crystal chandeliers and gold-trimmed books on the shelves. Very elegant. Very rich person who watches too much Downton Abbey. And standing in front of me? Two guys who look like they got kicked out of a Mad Max audition. One's a bald dude with purple lips and raccoon eyes. Full smoky makeup. Very committed to the look. The other guy has a green mohawk, a nose ring, and the energy of someone who bites people for fun. Oh, and Baldy? He's got a steam-powered mechanical arm. Like, actual gears and brass pipes and little puffs of white steam going puff, puff, puff. I'm sitting here bleeding out and part of my brain is just going, bro, who still uses steam technology? They've both got big revolvers with weird magic-looking symbols carved on them. So that's comforting. Then I catch my reflection in the shiny ceiling. And, surprise, that's not my face. I'm some brown-haired teenager covered in blood. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Let me do the math here. Strange body, strange world, two psychopunks interrogating me about some ruins I know nothing about, and I can somehow understand a language I've never heard before. I think I got Isekai'd. I literally got transported into another world. By a spam email. That's gotta be the lamest portal in fiction history. No magic circle, no truck, just fishing. And here's the best part. The original owner of this body? These two lovely gentlemen already killed him once. That's why I'm here. The previous tenant checked out, and I moved in. Worst Airbnb ever. 0 stars. Knives in the hands, blood on the shirt. Murderers included at no extra charge. Green Mohawk grabs the knife in my left hand and twists it, screaming at me to talk. My brain is on fire, sweat is pouring down my face, and all I can think is, my guy, I literally just got here. I don't know anything. But I also realize, whether I talk or stay quiet, these two aren't planning to let me walk out alive. This is a dead either way situation. A true speedrun of bad luck. Now, most people would panic, cry, beg. Totally reasonable responses. Me? Something weird happened. My body just relaxed. All the fear drained out like someone pulled a plug. Thanks to a fun little childhood I don't love talking about, my brain has this neat trick where, when things get scary enough, I just go cold. Like emotional airplane mode. Here I am, hands nailed to a chair, body stolen, world unknown, two killers in my face. And I'm sitting here calm as a frozen lake, thinking one thing. Alright, let's figure out how to not die. Okay, quick situation update. I'm tied to a chair, knives through both hands, two punk rock murderers in my face. Classic Monday. But here's the thing these idiots didn't notice. All my thrashing around earlier loosened the ropes on my arms. There's enough wiggle room to pull a hand free. And bonus discovery. Whatever kid owned this body before me was apparently built like a junior action hero. Serious muscle tone, calluses on the trigger finger, the works. This guy trained. A lot. Thanks, dead kid. Appreciate the gym membership. Green Mohawk slaps me across the face, screaming about how he'll kill me if I don't talk. He's standing real close too, like he forgot I'm a living person and not a punching bag mounted to furniture. Big mistake. I do the math in my head. His gun is close enough to grab. The knife in my hand is sharp enough to cut through. This body is strong enough to move fast. All systems go. So I do something absolutely insane. I rip my right hand straight off the knife. Yes, you read that correctly. The blade slices right through the gap between my ring finger and pinky, tearing flesh and spraying blood everywhere like a horror movie sprinkler. Two fingers are basically hanging by a thread. It is disgusting. Mohawk boy freezes. Just stands there staring at the blood on his pants like his brain crashed and needs to reboot. I can almost hear the Windows error sound going off in his skull. Too slow, buddy. I snatch his silver revolver right out of his holster with my 3 remaining functional fingers, shove it against his chest, and pull the trigger. Twice. Bang. Bang. 2 fist-sized holes appear in his back. He drops like a bag of wet laundry. Done. Finished. Goodbye, Mohawk. Now, Baldy with the steam arm. He's shocked for about half a second, then raises that ridiculous brass cannon of an arm and fires at me. The thing doesn't even shoot bullets. It shoots some kind of high-pressure air bomb. The blast misses my body but obliterates a chunk of the chair, part of the floor, and a piece of my leg. The wooden floorboard now has a hole you could drop a bowling ball through. But I predicted this. See, I'd been watching his mechanical arm earlier. The gears are clunky, the joints are slow. It's powerful, but about as agile as a refrigerator. I knew he'd aim where the chair was, not where I'd be. So I twisted mid-fall and dodged the kill shot. Physics class, attended. Final exam, passed. The second I hit the ground, I point the revolver up and squeeze the trigger one more time. Bang. Beautiful shot. Right between the eyes. I'm talking movie poster perfect accuracy. The bullet traces a clean line through the air and slams straight into his forehead. I lick my lips. Got him, except I didn't. The bullet hits his skull and just stops. It's literally embedded in his forehead like a decorative piercing. This man took a large caliber round to the brain box, and it bounced off like I threw a peanut at a tank. I'm sorry, what? His head should look like a smashed watermelon right now. Instead, he's standing there with a bullet stuck in his forehead, looking at me like I just mildly inconvenienced him. How is your skull that hard? I want to scream, but honestly I'm too busy having an existential crisis. Steam-powered robot arms. Bullets that don't kill people. Whatever world I landed in, it is not playing by normal rules. The initial shock passes fast though. My brain clicks back to cold mode. Baldy is glaring at me now with murder in his eyes. Well, since the other one has a bullet parked next to it. And I'm lying on the floor, hand torn open, leg shredded, holding a revolver with maybe 3 shots left, staring up at a man whose skull is apparently made of titanium. Okay, so this world is weird. Noted. Now what? Well, that didn't work. My perfect headshot, the one I was so proud of, just bounced off this guy's forehead like a Nerf dart. And now he's standing there picking the bullet out of his skull like it's a pimple, just casually flicking it away. No big deal. Just a Tuesday for Mr. Titanium Head. Then he stamps his foot, and some kind of shockwave ripples out, and suddenly he's not where he was anymore. He crosses the entire room in a blink and grabs my throat with his mechanical arm. Next thing I know, I'm pinned against the wall, feet dangling, chair still strapped to my back. He slams me so hard the chair explodes into splinters like it was made of crackers. I cough up a mouthful of blood that looks like bad cranberry juice. My stolen revolver clatters to the floor. Not that it matters anymore. I could empty the whole cylinder into this guy's face, and he'd probably just sneeze. He's squeezing my neck, looking at me like I'm a bug he's deciding whether to squish now or in 5 seconds. Then he drops this lovely piece of information. Surprise, kid. My awakened talent is C079, steel bones. Oh, so people in this world just have superpowers. With serial numbers. Like Pokemon moves. That's totally normal and fine and not at all terrifying. His grip tightens. I can feel my neck bones starting to creak like an old staircase. This is it. This is how I die. Strangled by a bald man with raccoon makeup and a steam-powered arm, in a world I've been in for approximately 4 minutes. But then, he hesitates. I catch it immediately. That tiny pause. He still wants information. Dead kids can't talk, and whatever secrets the original owner of this body had, Baldy wants them bad. So with my absolute last breath, I wheeze out the magic words. I have a treasure map. The hand on my throat loosens. Just a crack. Just enough air to keep me from turning blue. He sneers at me. You get one chance, kid. Tell me something interesting, and I'll make your death quick. Oh wow, what a generous offer. Die fast instead of slow. Employee of the month right here. But jokes aside, this is where things get interesting. Remember those weird glowing words I noticed on my eyeballs when I first woke up? Turns out they're actually useful. When I close my eyes, I can read a whole message someone left for the original owner. Fick was apparently his name. The message is basically, Dear Fick, your memories got wiped. Here's some stuff as compensation. Don't trust anybody, especially the people at the top of the Black Tower. Good luck, you'll need it. Love, your mysterious relative. Along with the message there's a 3D map, some kind of underground maze beneath this very mansion, and a bunch of notes about something called alchemy, real fantasy RPG stuff. So I start feeding Baldy just enough information to stay alive. There's a hidden passage in the mansion. 7th door on the left side of the main hall. A lamp on the wall is the switch to a secret underground labyrinth. All true. All from the iMessage. But I'm not stupid. I leave out the important parts. Like which specific lamp to pull, because apparently the wrong ones trigger death traps. And the actual path through the maze. You know, the stuff that keeps me valuable and therefore breathing. Then I drop the big name. The ruins contain relics left by Sir Isaac. Baldy's face goes from, "I'm going to kill you," to, "I'm going to kill you later," in about half a second. His eyes go wide. His breathing gets heavy. Whatever this Sir Isaac guy left behind, it's clearly the equivalent of finding out there's a winning lottery ticket buried in your backyard. And just like that, I've upgraded my status from dead meat to useful dead meat. He's not going to kill me. Not yet. Not while I'm the only GPS to his buried treasure. Okay, Suluan. You're alive. You're bleeding from approximately everywhere. You're being held hostage by a superpowered bald man in a steampunk fantasy world. But you're alive. Step 1. Complete. I have a treasure map card. Worked like a charm. You should have seen Baldy's face. Sorry. His name is actually Ivan. I learned that later, when I mentioned Sir Isaac's relics. His eyeballs practically turned into dollar signs like a cartoon character. Turns out this Isaac guy was basically the Einstein of alchemy in this world. A legendary genius they called a demigod. His grocery lists sell for fortunes on the black market. People once paid 300 gold crowns for a page of his personal diary. That's more than Ivan's entire robot arm cost. So yeah, I went from kill this kid to protect this kid with my life in about 3 seconds. Ivan starts grilling me. Who are you? Where do you get the map? I hit him with the world's most convenient answer. My memory was erased, which is technically true. The iMessage literally said that. I'm not lying. I'm just creatively recycling information. It's called being resourceful. He buys it. Of course he does. Apparently the original owner of this body was some VIP who got kicked out of the inner city with a bounty on his head. Memory wipe fits the story perfectly. Sometimes the truth is the best lie. Ivan loosens his grip on my neck. I can breathe again. Progress. But then, just as things are calming down, we hear the most blood-curdling scream from outside the door. Captain, where are you? Help me. The mood in the room goes from tense hostage negotiation to horror movie real fast. Ivan grabs me by the neck again, this time as a human shield. How flattering. And opens the door. A guy stumbles and looking like he just crawled out of a blender. Blood everywhere. Face white as paper, shaking like a wet chihuahua. His name's Marcus. He's one of Ivan's crew. And he's got a fun story to tell. Apparently, this mansion is what they call a cursed space, and there's something called a ghost species haunting it. This thing controls creepy puppets scattered around the house. It already killed the entire rest of Ivan's team, like 10+ people, by forcing them to play hide and seek. Yes, a murder ghost that plays children's games. This world is absolutely unhinged, and I am here for it. Marcus is basically having a nervous breakdown while explaining all this, and Ivan's face gets darker and darker. Meanwhile, I'm quietly ripping a strip off my shirt to bandage my shredded hand, thinking, okay, so we've got a superpowered bald maniac, a traumatized assassin, and a homicidal ghost that treats killing people like recess. This is fine. But here's the thing. While those two are busy panicking, I notice something they didn't. There's a Nutcracker soldier doll sitting in the corner of the room. Red, black, and green. Very festive. Very Christmas. I assumed it was just decoration earlier. Except its eyes moved. Not like, oh maybe the light shifted, moved. I mean its painted little eyeballs tracked US across the room. When Ivan had me pinned on the left wall, the doll was staring left. Now we're by the door on the right. And guess where Mr. Nutcracker is looking? Right. At US. I picked up on it because of my old hobby, escape rooms. Horror-themed ones. When you're locked in a creepy room, you learn to watch everything. And painted dolls whose eyes follow you around. That's escape room red flag number 1. So the ghost is watching us. Through the doll. Right now. Probably been watching this whole time. The fighting, the shooting, the choking, all of it. We've been its live entertainment. Do I tell Ivan? Absolutely not. See, Ivan and Marcus are terrified of this ghost thing. They're tough guys with guns and superpowers, and they're scared stiff. But me? I just got here. I don't know what a ghost species can do to me, but I know exactly what Ivan will do. He'll snap my neck the second I stop being useful. So actually, this murder ghost might be the best thing that's happened to me today. And that's saying something, because today has included getting stabbed, shot at, choked, and body swapped via email. The enemy of my enemy is my potential business partner. All right, creepy puppet ghost. You and me? We might be able to work something out. Ivan asks Marcus about the killer puppets. Marcus is shaking like a leaf, stuttering out details. The puppets use knives. Guns can blow them apart, but they won't stay dead. You can blast one into pieces, and a severed arm will literally crawl after you still swinging a blade. Also, there are hundreds of them hiding in every cabinet, closet, and basement in this mansion. Lovely. Just lovely. Ivan does some tough guy math and decides the ghost is probably only a level 1 threat. His logic? If it were stronger, it would have killed everyone faster. I respectfully disagree, Captain Baldy. Having watched over 1,000 horror movies in my previous life, I can tell you exactly what this ghost is doing. It's not struggling to kill people. It's playing. The whole hide-and-seek murder game? That's entertainment. We're not fighting a monster. We're inside a bored child's toy box, and the child has knives. But does anyone ask the horror movie expert? No. No, they do not. Ivan decides we're going treasure hunting anyway because of course he does. Gold makes people stupid in every universe. He ties me up on a rope leash like a dog, makes Marcus my babysitter, and announces we're heading out. But first, and I cannot stress how wild this was, he does something that made my jaw physically drop. He makes some hand signs, chants some gibberish like a wizard at a rave, and a golden magic circle appears under his feet. A full hexagram, glowing with mysterious symbols, pulsing with power. Then all his tattoos, the ones I thought were just decoration, start hardening into actual metal. Real, shiny, golden metal scales that cover his entire body like dragon armor. Marcus calls it an alchemic graft, diamond scale armor. So let me update my understanding of this world. We have steam-powered robot arms, bulletproof skulls, and magic body armor that grows out of your tattoos. This place is absolutely wild, and my inner nerd is losing his mind. Oh, and before we leave the room, I do something a little crazy. I look directly at the Nutcracker doll in the corner, the one whose eyes I caught following us, and I smile at it. A big, deliberate, I see you smile. Why? Because I've played enough horror escape rooms to know that sometimes you have to poke the bear, trigger the hidden event, pull the thread. Yes, 90% of the time, this is a terrible idea. But my situation literally cannot get worse, so let's roll the dice. After we leave, no one sees the Nutcracker's jaw start clicking up and down, clack, 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 like it's laughing. You're welcome, creepy ghost. You're welcome. Out in the hallway, things get weird fast. The mansion is gorgeous, glowing gemstone lamps, oil paintings, plush carpet. But the corridor just keeps going. We walk and walk and walk. No end. No turns. Just endless hallway. Like someone copy-pasted the same 10 meters over and over. Marcus is about to lose it. Captain, I think we're trapped. Then comes the voice. An old woman's cackle, echoing from everywhere and nowhere. According to the rules, if you're found, you'll be killed. It doesn't sound human. It sounds like something that used to be human about 300 years ago and has been practicing creepy laughs ever since. Marcus goes white and starts hyperventilating. It's here. It's here. Ivan just grunts. Cheap tricks. Then the puppets show up. They float. They float. Dozens of crude wooden dolls come drifting down the hallway from both directions, each one holding a thin knife, jaws clicking. Clack, 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 like a swarm of chattering teeth with murder on their minds. Ivan blasts them with his arm cannon. Direct hit, puppet parts everywhere. But the pieces just keep coming. A torso with no legs drags itself forward. An arm with a knife crawls along the wall. It's like fighting a blender full of angry Lego. Ivan charges in, golden armor blazing, smashing puppets left and right. Knives bounce off his scales with sparks flying. He's basically a one-man wrecking ball. Impressive? Absolutely. Sustainable? Absolutely not. You can't punch infinity. Meanwhile, Marcus is so scared he drops my rope. Just forgets he's supposed to be guarding me. Both hands shaking, gun wobbling, totally useless. This is my chance. I look at the hallway window. Foggy outside. Can't see how high up we are. But judging by the structure, probably not high enough to kill me. Probably. Good enough. I sprint toward the glass and throw my entire body through it like an action movie hero. Crash, glass shattering everywhere, me flying into the fog, already tucking into a landing position. My feet hit the ground instantly. Soft carpet. I look up. Same hallway. Same gemstone lamps. Same oil paintings. Same. Exact. Corridor. I jumped out of the building and landed back inside it. Are you kidding me right now? So remember how I heroically threw myself through a window to escape? Guess where I landed? The same hallway. I smashed through glass, flew into fog, and somehow looped right back to where I started like a video game with invisible walls. The broken window behind me? Already fixed. Good as new. Not even a crack. If it weren't for the glass shards still cutting my feet, I'd think I hallucinated the whole thing. This mansion doesn't follow the laws of physics. It follows the laws of, screw you specifically. Now I understand why Ivan's whole team died here. Nobody can leave. The building is basically a haunted escape room with no exit and a psychotic ghost as the game master. But here's the weird part. When I crash-landed back in puppet territory, the dolls completely ignored me. Just floated right past like I was furniture. Went straight for Ivan instead. My theory? That smile I gave the Nutcracker earlier earned me VIP status. The ghost thinks I'm fun. It doesn't want to kill its new favorite toy yet. Great. I'm alive because a dead thing thinks I'm entertaining. My entire survival strategy is now, be amusing to a psychopath. Every comedian's dream, really. Then things go from weird to awful. Marcus, Ivan's trembling, terrified babysitter guy, suddenly freezes mid-panic. I hear this horrible crack, crack, crack sound, and every joint in his body snaps backwards. His arms, his legs, his neck, all bent the wrong way. He's dangling in the air like a broken marionette, held up by invisible strings. Dead. Just like that. No warning. No puppet touched him. The ghost didn't need its dolls at all. The puppets were just for fun. The real power is invisible threads that can snap you apart like a breadstick. Cool. I hate it here. Then a door opens, and out walks an old man in a butler's tuxedo. Very posh. Very proper. He bows and says in the flattest voice imaginable, "My master invites you both to dinner in the banquet hall." His eyeballs don't move. His skin looks like wax. This, butler, is about as alive as a mannequin at a department store. Ivan, who has the emotional regulation of a hand grenade, screams, "Go to hell," and blasts the butler into pieces with his arm cannon. The ghost's voice echoes through the halls. Breaking the rules means you die. Invisible threads wrap around Ivan instantly. They cut right through his golden armor like cheese wire, slicing into flesh, blood dripping everywhere. One more second, and he'd be diced into cubes. Wait, I'll go to dinner. Fastest attitude change I've ever seen. 0 to humble in 1 second flat. So now we're at dinner. The banquet hall is gorgeous. Fancy music playing from a gramophone. Long table, beautiful china, candles, real classy setup. There are a dozen guests already seated around the table. None of them are alive. Some are puppets. Some are actual corpses propped up in chairs with invisible strings, sitting perfectly upright, like Weekend at Bernie's extras. All staring straight ahead with empty eyes. It's the worst dinner party in the history of dinner parties. A maid puppet seats me at an empty chair, ties a napkin around my neck, very polite for a haunted murder house, and lifts the silver cover off my plate. The smell hits me before I see it. It's a liver, a human liver, still warm, still oozing, fresh enough that someone was using it about 20 minutes ago. I raise an eyebrow. Honestly, after everything today, this barely cracks my top 5 most disturbing moments. I've played horror games way worse than this. I glance over at Ivan's plate. It's a head, a whole human head, sitting on fine china, with the eyeballs placed neatly in a little side dish like their dessert mints. And the green hair on that head looks awfully familiar. Oh, that's Mohawk guy, the one I shot earlier. He's back, and he's the main course. The ghost's voice fills the room. The rule is, eat everything on your plate, or you die. Every puppet and corpse at the table slowly turns to stare at us. Dozen pairs of dead, empty eyes. Just watching. Waiting. The butler clears his throat. Is the food not to your liking? I am not going to eat a human liver. But here's the problem. It doesn't matter what I want. Invisible threads drop from the ceiling and attach to my arms. My hands start moving on their own. I pick up the knife and fork. I start cutting the liver into neat little pieces. My movements are smooth, elegant even, like a gentleman at a five-star restaurant. My brain is screaming, stop, but my hands are going, bon appetit. This is the worst thing. Not the pain, not the puppets, not the bulletproof skull, this. Sitting here watching my own hands prepare a meal I absolutely do not want to eat, while creepy music plays and a table full of dead people watches me like it's a cooking show. Ivan mutters something next to me, sounding completely defeated, mental type body control. At least gold rank ghost species. We're finished. Oh, now you're scared? Not when you were stomping shockwaves and tanking headshots. Now, at the dinner table? Cool. Good to know your limit is fancy dining. My hand is lifting a fork full of bloody human liver toward my mouth, completely against my will. My brain is screaming, no, but my arm is going, dinner is served, sir. It's like being a passenger in my own body while some invisible ghost puppeteer drives. Time to use my real superpower, talking. See, here's what I figured out. This ghost could kill us instantly. It already proved that with Marcus. But it doesn't. It plays games, hide and seek, dinner parties. It wants to be entertained. And that means it has intelligence. And intelligence means emotions. And emotions mean I can work with this. 1,000 horror movies and 1,000 horror games have prepared me for exactly this moment. I start connecting the dots. In the dining room, 3 puppets sit at the table, a gentleman, a lady, and a young woman. A family of 3. But in the family photo back in the study, there were 4 people. The 4th was a little girl holding a teddy bear. The name written under the photo? Pistoia Isaac. Yeah, that Isaac. Sir Isaac the legendary alchemist. This is his mansion, and the ghost haunting it is his daughter. So I open my mouth and say to the empty air, Miss Pistoia, can we talk? Everything freezes. My fork stops midair. The music stops. Even Ivan stops chewing. Well, stops being forced to chew. Then a voice answers, how? Do you know my name? Bingo. The whole scene shifts like someone changed the channel. Suddenly, I'm in a pink bedroom. There's a little girl in a princess dress sitting at a workbench, tinkering with some kind of rune-covered puppet. She doesn't turn around. You still haven't told me how you know my name, she says. Sweet voice. Soft. Like honey. I explain about the photo. She asks how I spotted her watching us through the nutcracker. I tell her about the moving eyes. She seems satisfied. Then she turns around. Her face is burned. Completely. Melted skin. No features left. Just 3 holes where her eyes and mouth should be. She switches to that demonic old woman voice. Do you still want to chat now? This is the test. Classic horror movie, turnaround scare. I've seen at least 80 versions of this. Acid faces, melted faces, split faces, worm faces, the whole catalog. If I flinch, scream, or show disgust, I'm probably dead. So I do the only logical thing. I smile at her, warmly, like she just showed me a nice drawing. She freezes. I don't think anyone's ever not been terrified before. She literally doesn't know what to do next. It's like when a computer program hits an input it wasn't designed for. Before she can recalculate, I launch into phase 2, therapy. I can feel your loneliness, Miss Pistoia. And then, using every trick I learned from years of mandatory psychological counseling in juvenile detention, I start talking. About myself. Real stuff. Growing up alone. Being locked in solitary confinement as a kid. The suffocating loneliness of a tiny room with no one to talk to. It's not all manipulation. I genuinely understand what it's like to be trapped somewhere alone for years with nothing but your own broken thoughts for company. I tell her about the time I stabbed a gang of thugs who killed my neighbor's sister. Chased them down 3 streets with a knife. Killing doesn't make you evil, I say. Sometimes the people who die deserved it. Her burned face tilts with curiosity. She's finding something she recognizes in my words. Then I slip in the therapy line. But a doctor once told me, bad people deserve punishment, but good people should never be hurt. She mumbles. Then asks, what is a good person? Someone who fits your own values, I say, completely making up moral philosophy on the fly. And personally, I think those guys I killed had it coming. Are you a good person? Absolutely, I say without blinking. She laughs. Actual giggles. Silver bells ringing through the room. The tension melts like ice cream in July. Her face shifts back to the photo version. Golden hair, green eyes, adorable little girl. We sit side by side on her bed, and she tells me about her parents, The famous alchemists who were always too busy working. About how her only friends were the puppets because they couldn't leave, but also couldn't talk. I tell her weird stories from Earth. She tells me about life in the mansion. Two broken, lonely souls having the world's strangest therapy session. I came here to survive. Mission accomplished. She's clearly not going to kill me anymore. But somewhere along the way, something else happened. I actually, like this kid, we get each other. Two messed up creatures who know what real loneliness tastes like. After a while, she gets up and hands me two gifts. First, a handmade rune puppet from her workbench. Heavy, full of metal parts, covered in glowing blue symbols. No idea what it does, but I'm keeping it. Second, a butterfly brooch from her dress. My mom gave it to me for my 6th birthday, she says, pinning it to my chest. It's my favorite thing. I want you to have it. Then she asked me for a favor. If you ever meet my parents, ask them something for me. Sure. Ask what? Her voice cracks, switching between the little girl and the demon, and she whispers, ask them why they burned me alive. The room goes ice cold. I was not expecting that. Her own parents did this to her. The happy family in the photo? The loving alchemists? They set their own daughter on fire? Why? Black fog starts pouring off her body. Her eyes turn red. She's about to snap, to go full demon mode. And if she does, everyone in this building is probably dead. So I reach out and gently pat her head. She stops. The fog fades. Her eyes clear. I promise, I tell her. I'll ask them. She looks up at me with eyes like stars, clear, innocent, heartbreaking, and smiles. Goodbye, Mr. Sulun. I'm really happy I met you. Yeah, kid. Me too. And as I walk away, carrying a magic puppet and wearing a dead girl's butterfly pin, I realize something annoying. I came to this world 4 chapters ago. I've been stabbed, shot at, choked, body swapped, puppet attacked, force-fed human organs, and befriended a murder ghost. And the thing that actually got to me? A lonely little girl who just wanted to know why her parents killed her. This world is messed up, and I have a feeling I've barely scratched the surface. I said goodbye to Pistoia, and honestly, I felt a little sad. I've known this ghost child for maybe 2 hours, and she's already the best friend I've made in this world. The bar is underground, but still. Then the scenery shifts, and suddenly I'm standing in a ruin. Same mansion, same layout, same rooms, but everything is rotted, crumbling, covered in cobwebs. This place hasn't seen a living soul in centuries. The fancy chandeliers? Dust. The oil paintings? Mold. The plush carpet? Decomposed into floor soup. So the beautiful mansion I was just in was some kind of time bubble? Ghost dimension? Supernatural game instance? I have no clue. But the rune puppet box is still in my hands and Pistoia's butterfly brooch is still on my chest. So whatever happened in there was real. My brain hurts. Let's move on. I check the iMessage again. The original owner of this body, Fick, came here for Sir Isaac's hidden treasure. And now that I'm alone, with no bald maniacs choking me and no murder puppets chasing me, I might as well go find it. What else am I gonna do? Stand in a ruin and cry? I find the banquet hall, count 7 doors to the left, locate the correct hexagonal lamp on the wall, twist it clockwise, and click, click, click. A secret passage opens up. This mechanism still works after hundreds of years. These alchemists built stuff to last. The tunnel is perfectly preserved inside, sealed from outside air. Brick walls, glowing gem lamps every few meters, dim but enough to see. Very ancient temple vibes. Very Indiana Jones, minus the hat and the charm. The iMessage specifically warns, do not touch anything outside the safe path. So naturally, I keep my hands glued to my sides like a kid in a museum. Then the maze starts. Every corridor looks identical. Same bricks, same lamps, same everything. Visual confusion trap. Classic dungeon design. If I didn't have directions literally burned into my eyeballs, I'd be wandering here until I became a skeleton decoration. First fork. Left, left, right, up, down. 15 minutes of careful navigation later, I arrive at the destination. A massive stone chamber, brightly lit by enormous glowing gems. And in the center, 5 tall hooded statues arranged in a circle, each wearing a mysterious cloak, each carved with a different symbol on the back section. 3 of the statues are cracked. 2 are still intact. And here's the freaky part. Just looking at these statues makes me feel tiny, like an ant standing before gods. There's this overwhelming pressure, This instinct to kneel, like my soul itself, is being weighed and measured. Cool statues. Terrifying, but cool. In the center of the 5 statues sits a circular altar about 5 meters wide. It's carved with an 8-pointed star magic circle, surrounded by weird text and runes, with an image of a snake eating its own tail and a set of scales in the middle. I pull up the iMessage for the details. Here's the gist. Dear Fic, I'm sorry you lost everything. I decoded a secret from the Isekai'd manuscript. Supernatural talents can be awakened 3 ways. Naturally, through bloodline inheritance, or through a third method, targeted awakening using specific conditions. This altar is your compensation. Okay, cool. So this altar can give me superpowers. Like Ivan's bulletproof skull, but better. The message says I could potentially unlock an S-rank talent. Ivan's steel bones were only C-rank. S-rank sounds like the premium package. There's just one tiny, microscopic, completely insane catch. The sacrifice required is my eyeballs. Both of them. I have to scoop out my own eyes and offer them to the altar for a chance at a superpower. A possible superpower. Nobody has ever tested this before. If this were Earth, I'd laugh, close the browser tab, and go eat a sandwich. But I'm standing in a magic chamber underneath a haunted mansion in a world where bald men tank headshots and ghosts play deadly hide-and-seek. The rules here are different. I think about it. Really think about it. Pro. Potential S-rank superpower that could save my life in this insane world. Con. I lose my eyes. Pro. Ivan's C-rank talent already let him survive a bullet to the brain. S-rank could be godlike. Con. I lose my eyes. Pro. If I don't get stronger, I'll definitely die anyway. I'm a regular human in a world of monsters and magic. My current survival strategy is talk fast and hope for the best. That's not a long-term plan. Con eyes. Gone. Darkness. Forever. Possibly for nothing. The worst-case scenario is I go blind and get nothing. The best case? I become something extraordinary. I just survived getting stabbed through both hands, shot at with a steam cannon, choked by a superhuman, force-fed human organs, and befriended a murder ghost. Going blind is honestly not even in the top 3 worst things that happened today. I look at the altar. I look at the statues. I take a deep breath. Well, I'm already here. Might as well try. I step onto the altar. No hesitation. I already decided back when I first read the iMessage. If you're going to live in a fantasy world, you might as well go all in. The instructions say, drip blood on the snake carving. Easy enough. My hands are basically open faucets at this point. I squeeze my wounded palm, blood drips onto the stone Ouroboros, and the whole altar lights up like a Christmas tree. Golden symbols blazing everywhere, ancient magic humming through the floor. Okay, it works. That's good. Probably not a prank. Now comes the fun part. I have to dig out my own eyeball. Just reach in there and pop it out. Like removing a battery from a remote. Except the remote is my face and the battery is something I use to see. Here's the thing about me though, and this is going to sound absolutely insane. This isn't my first time doing this. Back in juvie, year 1, some bully picked the wrong kid to mess with. I went full psycho mode and, well, let's just say that guy needed a new eye and everyone started calling me the lunatic. Good times. After that, I read every anatomy textbook in the prison library. I know exactly where every nerve, muscle, and blood vessel sits. I know how much pressure it takes. I know what to expect. Fear comes from not knowing. I know exactly what's about to happen. So I reach up, hook my fingers around my left eye, and pull. Pain. Absolute volcanic, skull-splitting. Why did I do this? Pain. Cold sweat everywhere. My face goes white. Blood streaming down my cheek like a horror movie poster. But I'm still standing. I take the bloody mess in my trembling hand and place it on the left side of the stone scale carving. The altar erupts. Red light swallows the eyeball. One of the 5 statues, the one marked with that strange symbol, starts glowing green. A tiny wisp of green energy slithers out like a little snake and flows directly into my empty eye socket. Then something incredible happens. It feels like I'm floating through infinite space, reaching out and plucking a star from the cosmos. That star dissolves into my body. The pain fades. My left eye starts regenerating. I can feel tissue growing, nerves reconnecting, muscles rebuilding. It tickles. In 3 minutes flat, I have a brand new eyeball. The statue cracks. I blink open my new eye and wow. Everything is in Ultra HD. Like someone cleaned a dirty windshield I didn't know was dirty. I can see individual cracks in stone from across the room. Every dust particle. Every spider web thread. It's like going from a flip phone camera to a space telescope. Cool, but is that it? Supervision? I gouged out my eye for glasses. Then something weird happens. I look at myself, really stare, and text appears in my vision. A full stat panel, like a video game character screen. Suluan, Fic Regardi, Dark Spirit Power, 233/1130 Charisma, 9 Strength, 6 Agility, 6 Constitution, 5 Perception, for skill, 8 Mental Power, 26 Talent. 018. All-Knowing Eye Skills, Higam. Breathing Method, Basic Firearm Mastery, Advanced Combat, Beginner Overall Combat Rating. Unremarkable, I'm sorry. Unremarkable. My combat skills that let me fight 10 guys at once back on Earth? Advanced Combat, Beginner. My marksmanship that cost me half my savings at the shooting range? Basic Firearm Mastery. What does advanced look like? Curving bullets around corners? And the overall rating. Unremarkable. Compared to a guy who tanks headshots. Yeah, I guess I am unremarkable. Thanks for the ego check, magic stat screen. The mental power score of 26 does look weirdly high compared to everything else though. Probably because I'm clinically insane. Turns out being a certified lunatic has stat benefits in this world. But before I can process any of this, the altar lights up again. This time it's not gold. It's gray, cold, creepy. Feels like someone opened a door to the underworld and forgot to close it. My soul shivers. This wasn't in the instructions. The statue marked with a crescent moon symbol starts glowing. Black energy drifts out and flows into me. Something invisible gets pulled out of my body. I suddenly feel lighter, like dropping a backpack I didn't know I was wearing. The process is way faster this time. A few seconds and it's done. That statue cracks too. All 5 statues are broken now. And that overwhelming godly pressure they gave off? Gone. They're just rocks now. I check my stat panel again, scroll down to talents, and there's a new entry I definitely did not sign up for. S004. Death Reaper. I stare at it. I didn't sacrifice anything for this one. It just showed up. Like a bonus track on an album. A free sample at the grocery store. An unsolicited superpower. 2 S-rank talents. 2. When Ivan's bulletproof skull was only C rank. I came to this world with nothing. No memories, no powers, no allies, no idea what's happening. And now I'm standing on a broken altar in an underground chamber with a magic eye that shows me video game stats and a mysterious death power I got for free. Okay, this world might actually be fun. 2 S-rank talents. I have 2, and I didn't even pay for the second one. Let me explain. The first one, All-Knowing Eye, cost me an eyeball. Fair trade. Eye for an eye. Very biblical. But then the altar just randomly fired up again and gave me a second talent called Death Reaper, without asking for anything. Well, almost nothing. I noticed my mental power dropped from 26 to 18, and that weird whispering sound I'd been hearing in my head since I woke up? Gone. Completely silent. My theory? The original owner's leftover soul fragments were still rattling around in this body like loose change in a washing machine. The altar detected them, went, ooh, free sacrifice, and traded them for a bonus talent. Which means, if I weren't a body-stealing interdimensional traveler, the only way to get that second talent would be to sacrifice your own soul. On purpose. On this altar. Meaning you'd have to kill yourself to activate it. That's the most metal thing I've ever heard. And also deeply stupid. Who designs a system like that? Anyway, the Death Reaper talent. What does it do? No clue. Zero idea. Absolutely nothing happened. No glowing hands. No dark aura. No spooky voice saying, "You are now the chosen one." Just nothing. It's like downloading an app and not being able to find the icon. I'll figure it out later. Moving on. The All-Knowing Eye, on the other hand, that one I can test. I look at the broken statues and text pops up in my vision. Broken stone sculpture. Lost its supernatural power. Nothing worth observing. It's an appraisal skill. Like in RPGs when you hover over an item and get a little info box. Not exactly going to help me in a fist fight. If Ivan showed up right now, the best I could do is stare at him really hard and read. This guy is about to kill you. Surely the S-rank talent that cost me. An eyeball isn't just magical Wikipedia. I tell myself there must be hidden abilities I haven't unlocked yet. There must be. Otherwise, I traded a perfectly good eye for the world's fanciest magnifying glass. But then, I pull out the rune puppet Pistoia gave me and use my new eye on it. Oh, cursed object, rune puppet quality, gold effect, within 10 meters, forces mental control on any creature with mental power below 15. Causes hypnosis, loss of body control, madness. Additional info. This is a class change material for the Puppet Master profession. Massively boosts agility and skill stats after equipping. Body compatibility, 93%. I'm holding a gold tier cursed weapon that can mind control anyone nearby. The cute little doll that the ghost girl handed me as a goodbye present is basically a pocket-sized nuke for people's brains. And that body control thing? That's exactly what happened to me at dinner. When my hands picked up the fork on their own and started cutting human liver like a fancy chef. That was this ability. Pistoia's own power, baked into a doll. If my mental power weren't unusually high, this thing would have driven me insane the moment I picked it up. I've basically been carrying a radioactive teddy bear in my pocket this whole time. It also says it's a class change material, meaning I can use it to become a puppet master, whatever that is. Same kind of thing Ivan did with his golden armor tattoo magic. I'm guessing. Some kind of job advancement system. Then I noticed the box the puppet came in is also magical. Level 2 rune sealing box. Blocks mental energy waves. And if you look closely, the decorative patterns on the surface are actually microscopic text. An entire manual called Beginner's Complete Guide to Puppet Crafting. Pistoia didn't just give me a farewell gift. She gave me the class material, the instruction manual, and the carrying case. A full starter kit. That little girl looked at my stats, saw my high mental power, and basically said, "You'd make a great puppet master," and handed me everything I needed to become one. I feel weirdly touched, and also concerned, but mostly touched. Then I checked the butterfly brooch she pinned on my chest. Pistoia's brooch Focus 10 description. A brooch filled with intense resentment. Improves concentration for studying, casting, and working. But long-term, where will make the user aggressive and violent. Note. Your ability cannot perceive things too far beyond your current understanding. After careful observation, you also detected a string of unknown, comma. Wait, what? There's something hidden in this brooch that my S-rank appraisal I literally cannot comprehend? Not, restricted, or locked. It says I can't even understand it. Like trying to explain a 3D object to a stick figure. The information exists, but my brain physically cannot process it. What kind of terrifying secret is stuffed inside a little girl's birthday present from her mom? And suddenly that question comes rushing back. Why did Pistoia's parents burn her alive? A loving family. A doted-on daughter. And they set her on fire. Was it because of something she was? Something inside her? Something connected to whatever mystery is hiding in this brooch behind a wall of question marks? I don't have answers. And standing in the ruins of her mansion, right above her ghost's domain, is probably not the best place to start investigating. Time to leave. I've got 2 S-rank talents, a mind control puppet, a cursed brooch full of cosmic secrets, a body covered in wounds, and approximately 0 understanding of how this world works. Pretty good haul for my first day. So I've completed the original owner's quest, got the S-rank talent he was after, and scored a bonus second S-rank talent for free. Not bad for a guy who's been in this world for maybe 2 hours. But I still have no idea what Death Reaper actually does. There's no instruction manual, no tutorial pop-up, no helpful fairy floating next to me going, "Hey, listen," it's just sitting in my stat panel looking mysterious and doing absolutely nothing. The all-knowing eye at least makes sense. I look at stuff, text appears, tells me what it is. Basically magical Google. Not exactly a combat powerhouse, but useful. I leave the underground chamber and crawl back through the secret passage into the ruins of the mansion. My head is swimming from blood loss. I've got holes in my hands, a shredded leg, and I haven't eaten since. Well, since never, technically. This body's previous owner probably ate at some point, but I certainly haven't. Outside, the sky is gray and sunless. The mansion sits on a hillside, and in the distance, through the fog, I can make out the outline of some massive ruined city. No lights, no signs of life, just enormous shadowy shapes moving through the mist. Giant, shadowy shapes. Yeah, I'm not going there right now. According to the IMAP, I'm currently hundreds of kilometers underground. This entire place, the mansion, the ruined city, the gray sky, is all inside some colossal cavern. Who builds a city this deep underground? And what's making that light up there if there's no sun? Questions for later. Priority 1. Don't die of blood loss and starvation. I check the map for the route back to wherever the original owner came from and start heading toward the mansion's garden. That's when I spot him. A shiny bald head, covered in blood, lying face up in the ruined garden like a discarded action figure. Ivan. He's alive. Barely. His golden armor is gone. His skin is sliced up like someone ran him through a paper shredder, and he's completely unconscious. But his chest is still moving. How is this guy not dead? Pistoia could have squished him like a grape. Either she let him go on purpose, maybe as another gift for me, or this cockroach somehow crawled his way out of her ghost dimension on his own. Either way, he's here, he's helpless, and he's got supplies I desperately need. I open the wooden box and pull out the rune puppet, just in case. If his mental power is under 15, this thing will scramble his brain before he can blink. 20 meters. 15. 10. I'm inside the puppet's range now. But it doesn't matter. Ivan is completely out cold. Not faking it. Not playing possum. Genuinely unconscious. I don't hesitate. This man kidnapped the original owner of my body, stabbed knives through my hands, tried to choke me to death, used me as a human shield, would have killed me the second I stopped being useful. I pull the knife from his belt, find the gap between his ribs, thank you, anatomy textbooks from juvenile prison, and drive it straight into his heart. One clean thrust. Lights out. Permanently. I watch his chest stop moving and exhale. Then something weird happens. A cloudy, glowing gray mist rises from Ivan's body. It hovers there like a little fog ghost, and suddenly I feel this overwhelming hunger. Not stomach hunger, soul hunger. Like every cell in my body is screaming, eat that. Is this his soul? I reach out and touch the gray mist. Boom. Images flood my brain like a highlight reel of Ivan's life. I see him maintaining his mechanical arm, tightening bolts, adjusting pressure valves. I see him fighting, grappling, throwing punches. I see his combat techniques, his engineering knowledge, his, oh no. I also see his memories of a woman named Sabina who apparently had very generous proportions. That particular memory is extremely vivid, and I did not ask for it. Moving on. After the gray mist absorbs into me, I check my stats. Mental power, up by 0.1. New skill, basic mechanical engineering. Combat experience, +5. +5. That combat boost alone would have taken me months of training to achieve naturally. And I got it in 3 seconds by touching a dead guy's soul fog. That's when it hits me. This is what Death Reaper does. It harvests memories from dead people and converts them into skills and experience for me. Every person who dies near me is basically a walking loot drop. Their lifetime of training, knowledge, and abilities. I can just absorb it. Like eating experience points. A soldier who spent 20 years mastering the sword? Dead. Mine. An alchemist who studied for decades? Dead. Mine. A mechanic, a scholar, a marksman, anyone's lifetime of work, transferred to me in seconds. No wonder it's S rank. This isn't a combat talent. It's a growth talent. The more things die around me, the stronger I get. Infinitely. With no ceiling. The only catch. It only works on the dead. Ivan's soul mist didn't appear until after I stabbed him. Living people don't drop loot. So I need a steady supply of dead people to level up. That's a little dark. I catch myself getting excited about this and have to pump the brakes. Hey, calm down. You're getting way too enthusiastic about harvesting souls. That's villain behavior. But deep down, standing over Ivan's body with new skills buzzing in my brain and a stolen knife in my hand, I have a feeling this world is going to give me plenty of opportunities. Apparently, in this place, death is as common as breathing. Lucky me. Time to loot the body. This is the part of the game I've been waiting for. Ivan's mechanical arm is trashed, sliced open like a tin can, gears and pipes hanging out everywhere. Useless as a weapon now, but fascinating as a piece of technology. Thanks to the memories I just absorbed from his soul, I actually understand some of what I'm looking at. This world's tech tree is wild. They combined alchemy with steam power. The metal alone can't handle the pressure. It's these mysterious rune engravings that hold everything together. like magic duct tape for engineering. The rest of his gear? Mostly destroyed. His gun is in 3 pieces. His armor is gone. His clothes are shredded. I'm rummaging through a dead man's pockets in an ancient ruin and coming up empty. Seriously? These guys didn't even pack a sandwich. Then I noticed 3 black gemstone rings on his fingers. One of them he actually stole off Mohawk guy's corpse earlier. Classy move, stealing jewelry from the teammate I shot for you. I use my all-knowing eye on them. Low-quality spatial ring. Contains half a cubic meter of pocket dimension storage space. Inventory rings. They have inventory rings. Like a video game. That's why nobody carries backpacks or water bottles. Everything is stored in tiny pocket dimensions inside their jewelry. This world is ridiculous and I love it. I slip on the first ring, think really hard, and suddenly I can see inside it. Half a cubic meter of space, packed wall to wall with little bottles and vials. Red ones, green ones, blue ones. Looks like a potion shop exploded in there. I pull out a red one and appraise it. Low-quality healing potion, oral, stops bleeding quickly, accelerates wound recovery. Some impurities, but no side effects. Healing potions. I have healing potions. 30 seconds ago, I was worried about dying from infected stab wounds. Now I'm chugging magical medicine like it's a sports drink. I down a mid-grade potion and immediately feel my hand wounds start tingling. The flesh is literally knitting itself back together in real time. I can watch my skin close up with my enhanced eyes. The whole process takes maybe 30 minutes. This stuff would be worth billions back on Earth. And I just used the fancy version on a hand wound. Probably should have used the cheap stuff. Oh well. I'm worth it. Ring number 2. Food and water. The food is black bread that could double as a building material. The water is some murky dark liquid that I would never drink in my previous life. But my eye confirms it's technically safe for consumption, so down it goes. It tastes exactly as bad as it looks. 0 stars. Would not recommend. But my blood sugar was crashing and beggars can't be choosers. Here's the weird thing though. Ivan had incredibly well-made guns and fancy alchemic bullets, but his food is basically medieval prison rations. The engineering in this world is top-notch, but the agriculture seems like a disaster. Either these guys are broke, or this world has serious problems with basic survival resources. Neither option is comforting. Ring number 3, the weapons stash. 2 punk-style handguns and a short-barreled shotgun, plus a mountain of ammunition and spare mechanical arm parts. And mixed in with the regular bullets, special rounds with magic runes carved into the tips. Alchemic bullet, high explosive, dot. Alchemic bullet, armor piercing, dot. Alchemic bullet, anti-magic, dot. I don't have many of each, but these sound absolutely devastating. Regular bullets already blew fist-sized holes through Mohawk guy. I can only imagine what an exploding magic bullet would do. I load up both pistols, one with regular ammo, one with the special stuff, and strap them to my waist. Finally, I feel like a proper resident of this world. Injured, underfed, but armed to the teeth. Then, while I'm sitting next to Ivan's corpse finishing my terrible bread, something happens. 2 objects start emerging from his body, like they were stored inside him. A palm-sized blue scale, his golden armor, now broken and cracked, and a dark red fibrous thing that looks like a muscle cord. Broken diamond scale armor, damaged alchemic graft. May contain useful supernatural materials. Cursed object, resilient magic muscle, damaged. Class change material for the Iron Titan profession. Missing some curse properties, needs new rune inscription. So that's how it works. The golden armor wasn't equipment he put on. It was fused into his body. And that magic muscle is why he was ridiculously strong. These, class materials, literally merge with your flesh and boost your physical stats. After the muscle cord detaches, Ivan's corpse visibly shrinks. Like deflating a balloon. Without the magic muscle, he's just a regular-sized dead guy. All that terrifying bulk was supernatural enhancement, which means my rune puppet works the same way. If I equip it, somehow, I'd get massive boosts to agility and skill. I just have no idea how to actually do the equipping part. Nobody left me instructions for that. I pack everything up, guns loaded, potions stored, terrible bread half-eaten. Time to find civilization. But before I go, I piece together one final mystery. Why did Ivan kidnap the original owner of this body in the first place? The evidence. Ivan didn't know about the treasure beforehand. He didn't know Fick's real identity. They were in an incredibly remote location where a random encounter is almost impossible. And from what the iMessage said, Fick was an exiled heir from some powerful family with a bounty on his head. Conclusion: someone hired Ivan's crew to track Fick down and kill him. A professional hit job. The only reason Ivan didn't finish it immediately was pure greed. He figured a guy worth assassinating might have valuable secrets, so he followed Fick all the way here to interrogate him first. Which means, wherever Fick came from, someone there wants him dead. And if I go back using his face, they'll want me dead too. Well, that's just great. I can't even go home safely. I look down at my reflection in a puddle. Brown hair, young face, handsome, actually, in a beaten-up action hero kind of way. I sigh. This face is way too recognizable. Can't exactly walk into town looking like the guy everyone's been hired to murder. 2 S-rank talents, a pocket full of magic bullets, a cursed puppet, a mysterious brooch, a belly full of terrible bread, and a face that's basically a wanted poster. Welcome to my new life. 3 days into my solo hiking trip through the underground world from hell, and I can confidently say, this place is disgusting. Let me paint you a picture of my week. Day 1 out of the mansion. I'm tiptoeing through dark tunnels, minding my own business, when I hear something charging at me like a freight train. It's a human. Well, it used to be a human. Now it's a bloated, swollen meat balloon wearing the tattered remains of someone's outfit. My eye tells me it's a mutated human. People who couldn't handle the curse energy down here and turned into mindless killing machines with superhuman hearing. This thing comes barreling toward me because I stepped on a pebble too loudly. A pebble. I almost died because of a pebble. Regular bullets? Useless. They sink into its body like throwing marbles into pudding. Bloop. Nothing. The thing is basically a walking pile of toxic sludge shaped like a person, and if it scratches you, it sprays corrosive, rotting flesh everywhere. Disgusting doesn't even begin to cover it. I had to burn several of my precious high-explosive alchemy rounds to blow it apart. Those bullets are basically tiny grenades, and I don't have many. Every one I use is one less between me and a horrible death later. And that was just creature number 1. In the days since, I have seen things that would make a nature documentary narrator quit on the spot. Mushrooms the size of apartment buildings that glow in the dark. Lizards the size of actual dinosaurs. Swarms of red-eyed rats so thick they look like a moving carpet of nightmares. A centipede, and I mean a real centipede, 10 meters long, with literally 1,000 legs. Not figuratively. I counted. Okay, I didn't count, but my eye probably did. And the grand prize winner. An entire cave wall covered in tumorous flesh lumps and hundreds of eyeballs, with giant tentacles reaching out of it like the world's worst modern art installation. Everything down here looks like it evolved inside a nuclear reactor and then got cursed for good measure. This is not a cave. This is nature's horror show, and I have a front row seat I never bought a ticket for. Without my enhanced night vision from the all-knowing eye, I'd be dead 10 times over. The cheap night vision goggles from Ivan's Supplies are barely good enough to avoid tripping over rocks, let alone spotting a camouflaged meat monster 50 meters away. Right now I'm hiding in a pit, watching another mutated human shuffle past in the distance. My finger is on the trigger of my alchemy-loaded pistol, ready to redecorate this cave with its insides if it comes any closer. It doesn't. It wanders off the other way. I exhale. Still alive. Day 4. Personal record. While I chew on my terrible brick bread and wash it down with suspicious dark water, I'm starting to piece this world together. This underground space is enormous. We're talking full ecosystem, complete with forests, predators, prey, and ancient city ruins. Real cities, built for thousands of people. Somebody lived down here on purpose once upon a time. Ivan's crew weren't miners or explorers. They were wasteland hunters, professional teams that venture into these underground zones to scavenge resources. And their pale skin wasn't just genetics. It was the pallor of people who haven't seen sunlight in a very long time. Which leads me to a disturbing theory. The city I'm trying to reach. It might also be underground. There might not be a surface. Or if there is, these people don't live on it. Fun thought. Very comforting. Love that for me. According to Ivan's map, I'm approaching a B-level zone, where human activity is more common, which means fewer giant tentacle walls and more people I can actually talk to. Hopefully, if my food holds out, which it probably won't, because brick bread has the nutritional value of actual bricks. Oh, and before I left my hiding spot a few days back, I made a decision about Pistoia's butterfly brooch. That thing has been nagging at me. My all-knowing I detected something hidden inside it, something so far beyond my comprehension that the appraisal just returned question marks. And the brooch already has a known side effect of making the wearer aggressive and violent over time. A cursed accessory with a mystery payload from a ghost girl whose parents burned her alive for unknown reasons? Yeah, I buried it. Dug a hole, dropped it in, marked the spot, walked away. If it turns out to be harmless, I'll come back for it when my abilities are strong enough to actually read what's inside. And if it turns out to be some kind of eldritch time bomb, then future me just dodged a catastrophe, and present me is a genius. What I didn't know, and couldn't have known, is that about 2 seconds after I buried it, something inside that brooch woke up. Some kind of consciousness, whispering from the deep, making the brooch tremble in the dirt. Yeah, good call on the burial, past me. Great call. I also didn't know that a few days after I left the mansion, a whole squad of people in black showed up, led by some spoiled rich kid in a pink suit drinking coffee in the ruins like it was a cafe. His bodyguards smashed through Pistoia's cursed space, killed her ghost, and looted her domain. They found the brooch I'd left behind. Pink suit boy didn't even care, just waved his hand and said, "Give it to Lady Teresa, she likes jewelry," like it was nothing. Then they found the underground altar. My altar, the one I used, and discovered it was completely destroyed because I already triggered it and took everything worth taking. Pink suit boy was not happy. Apparently his family had the same alchemic manuscript that led the original fic here. They decoded the same treasure map. They came for the same S-rank talent. And I took it first. Impossible. We're the only ones who knew about this, he screamed. Sorry, buddy. You snooze, you lose. First come, first served. The early bird gets the supernatural eye powers. His people also tried exploring the ancient ruined city near the mansion. Nobody came back alive. They rated it red level, danger. Meanwhile, I, the guy with no team, no resources, and combat stats rated unremarkable, walked right through the mansion, made friends with the murder ghost, got 2 S-rank talents, and strolled out with pockets full of loot. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And after several more days of creeping through monster-infested tunnels, eating concrete bread, and trying not to step on any loud pebbles, I finally see other living humans. Well, thank goodness. Please be friendly. Please be friendly. Several days of creeping through monster-infested tunnels, and I'm running out of everything. Food. Almost gone. Water. Critical. Morale. Somewhere between. This is fine. And I'm going to die eating cave mushrooms. Speaking of water, I found some down here. Puddles, rock seepage, little underground streams. Sounds great, right? Wrong. My eye scanned every single one, and the results were always some variation of contaminated water. Consumption will cause bodily mutation. Drink this, and you'll turn into one of those bloated meat balloons I've been dodging all week. Now I understand why Ivan's drinking water looked like dirty dishwater. In this world, slightly gross water is a luxury. The alternative is growing extra limbs. I'm starting to get desperate when I spot something in the distance, a ruined watchtower. And around it, people. Living, breathing, non-mutated humans. A team of 8, fully armed, camping out in the ruins. My first thought, water, food, civilization. My second thought, these people might murder me on sight. Fair concern. The last humans I met stabbed knives through my hands. But I don't have a choice. I'm days from the nearest city, my canteen is almost dry, and if I try to sneak past them, the sniper I can see perched in their watchtower will put a bullet through my skull for fun. Oh yeah, there's a sniper. Already aimed at me. My enhanced eyes spotted the glint of the scope before I even got close. These guys are professionals. I raise both hands in the universal, please don't shoot me, gesture, and start walking toward them, shouting. I mean no harm. I just want to trade for some food and water. Now, before I tell you what happened next, let me explain something important. Remember how the original owner of this body was a wanted man? Exiled heir, bounty on his head, professional hitman sent to kill him? Going back to civilization with his face would be suicide. Like walking into a police station wearing a most wanted t-shirt. So I had to change my appearance. And since I don't have access to plastic surgery or magic disguises, I went with the most devastating transformation technique known to mankind. I shaved off my eyebrows. If you've never seen what a person looks like without eyebrows, let me tell you, it's terrifying. You become instantly unrecognizable. Your own mother would walk past you on the street. It's the cheapest, fastest, most effective disguise in existence, and nobody talks about it because the results are too horrifying. But I didn't stop there. I also shaved my head completely bald. Then I smeared dark makeup around my eyes in a smoky punk style. I went from handsome young gentleman to guy who definitely bites people on the subway in about 15 minutes. And honestly, based on what I've seen of fashion in this world, I fit right in. Dark punk is apparently the dominant style down here. Half the people in this hunter team are dressed the same way. Who knew that looking like a rejected Mad Max extra was actually mainstream? So there I am, bald, eyebrowless, smoky-eyed, covered in scars, guns on my hips, walking toward a camp full of strangers who have 10 weapons pointed at my face. And I overhear them talking about me. Boss, it's a human, not a monster. Looks like some poor loner who got separated. Wait, is that red gun on his belt the famous three-headed ghost? That's Ironhead Ivan's personal weapon. Oh great. Ivan's gun is apparently famous. I'm carrying a dead celebrity's signature accessory. That's like stealing a rock star's guitar and then busking on his home street. They let me approach the wall, at least a dozen gun barrels tracking my every step. The puppet box is hanging at my waist. One touch, and it falls open, mind-controlling anyone within 10 meters. My insurance policy. But the real shocker? Their leader has 2 mechanical arms. Not the crude external frame, kind like Ivan's. These are full prosthetic replacements, proper cybernetic limbs where flesh used to be. Smooth, precise, clearly high-tech. They move like real arms, probably connected directly to his nervous system. I'm having a full identity crisis about what kind of world this is. Alchemy? Magic circles? Steam power? And now cybernetic prosthetics? That's like if medieval knights had iPhones. The technology here makes no sense. They're running on steam engines, but they've cracked neural interface prosthetics? What kind of insane tech tree did this civilization climb? The team has all sorts of wild gear too. Mechanical shields, steam-powered swords, full-body metal exoskeletons, backpack-sized boiler units strapped to their backs. It's like someone smashed a fantasy RPG and a cyberpunk shooter together and said, yes, both, at the same time. The captain with the robot arms stares me down from behind the wall. Halt. Who are you? I stand perfectly still. 10 guns aimed at my head. 1 sniper above. 7 fighters below. And me, bald, bleeding, starving, carrying a dead man's famous gun and hiding a mind control puppet in a box. Just another Tuesday in my new life. Who are you? The robot arm captain asks. I had my story ready. I'm a wasteland hunter. My team got scattered when we ran into a pack of lightning lizards. I'm low on food and water, hoping to buy or trade for some. Half true. I did see a swarm of giant lizards. I just left out the part about being a dimension-hopping body thief with 2 S-rank talents and a mind control puppet in a box. Turns out these guys are actually looking for lightning lizards. Their faces light up like kids on Christmas morning. Apparently, they need lizard tendons for some kind of alchemic body modification project for their vice captain, a guy named Lorne. You saw a whole nest of them? Where? I point down the tunnel. Left fork, towards Sector B11. Big group. Probably a breeding ground. They're practically drooling. This is going well. Then the captain, Silver Hands, Dick, apparently famous in the east side of whatever city they're from, spots my guns. His eyes narrow. That red pistol. Isn't that three-headed ghost? That's Ironhead Ivan's weapon. Oh no. Are you with the Crow Gang? Every single person in the camp suddenly looks at me like I just insulted their mothers. Hands drift toward weapons. The temperature drops about 10 degrees. I have no idea what the Crow Gang is, but I can tell from their faces that saying yes would result in my immediate and enthusiastic murder. Apparently Ivan's old crew had a reputation, and not the good kind. I'm a freelance adventurer, I say quickly. Independent. No gang affiliation. Dick's expression shifts from hostile to interested, like a shark that just realized the fish might swim into its mouth voluntarily. He suddenly gets friendly. Too friendly. Lowers the guns, invites me into camp, starts giving me the sales pitch for his organization, the Steam Brotherhood. Great benefits, lots of resources, top-tier mechanical prosthetics. Join today, first month free, probably. I sit by their campfire. 8 people around me. Very cozy. Very surrounded. I keep my answers short and vague. Yes, my name is Suluan. No, I'm not a professional yet. I'll think about joining. Very nice campfire you have here. From their conversation, I'm picking up tons of useful information. The city has an inner city and outer city. 3 major gangs control the outer city. There's a whole job class system with special materials and blueprints. This world has layers I haven't even begun to peel. Then Dick offers me water and 3 days of food supplies. How generous. How kind. What wonderful people. I take the water bottle, and before drinking, I do what I always do now, scan it with my eye. Water containing nerve paralysis toxin. Ah, there it is. They poison the water. Of course they poison the water. I've been in this world for like a week, and literally every single person I've met has tried to kill me. Is this a cultural thing? Is attempted murder just how people say hello down here? Their plan is obvious. I drink, I collapse, they take my stuff. If I refuse to drink, they jump me anyway. 8 against 1, easy win. They've been chatting this whole time just to figure out if I have any hidden backup or secret abilities. Now they're satisfied I'm alone and ready to make their move. Those casual glances at my guns. Not casual. Those relaxed sitting positions around the fire. Not relaxed. They're in a circle around me. This is a kill box dressed up as hospitality. Fine. You want to play? Let's play. I unscrew the water bottle, lift it toward my lips, then pause like I just remembered something. Oh, Captain Dick, thanks for the hospitality. My expedition wasn't a total loss, actually. I found something interesting in some mansion ruins. No idea what it does, but here, consider it a gift. I casually reach for the cloth bag at my waist, pull out the wooden box, open it, and take out the rune puppet. Nobody flinches. Why would they? It's just a weird little doll. This bald kid is giving their captain a toy. How threatening could that possibly? The puppet hits the open air, and an invisible shockwave of psychic energy detonates outward. 6 people within 10 meters freeze instantly. Eyes go blank. Bodies lock up. Every single one of them, including the famous Silver Hands. Dick just stops. Like someone pressed pause on reality. The puppet is even stronger than I expected. Dick is supposed to be a professional class fighter, and even he got caught. His eyes are glazed over, mouth half open, mechanical arms frozen mid-gesture. I don't waste a single second. Gun out. Barrel against Dick's eye socket. Trigger pulled. Bang. His head pops like a watermelon at a baseball game. I learned my lesson from Ivan. Kill the strongest one first, and aim somewhere that steel bones won't save them. Not that Dick had steel bones, but why take chances? His soul mist appears immediately. I grab it. Obtained Dick Nelson's memory fragments X2. Learned intermediate mechanical engineering. Steam combat experience 4. Mental power 0.13. No time to process. I spin and fire at the sniper in the watchtower, the one outside the puppet's 10-meter range. Bang. Hit him in the stomach. He tumbles off the tower. The second sniper starts shooting back. Bullets tear through the mud wall I'm hiding behind like it's made of cookies. This wall is almost a meter thick and his rounds are punching clean through. I switch to my other gun, the one loaded with special alchemy rounds, and unload everything at the watchtower. 2 incendiary rounds. 2 high explosive rounds. 2 concussion rounds. 6 shots. 6 magical bullets that probably cost more than a house each. The watchtower simply ceases to exist. 1 second it's there, next second it's a cloud of fire, debris, and regret. The concussion rounds are so powerful that even I'm dizzy from the shockwave, and I'm 100 meters away. I sprint through the smoke with my enhanced vision, find the sniper crawling in the rubble, and put 2 more rounds in him. Soul mist. Grab. Basic alchemy knowledge acquired. Firearms experience 6. Then I double tap the other sniper I shot earlier. Then I walk back to the campfire where 5 people are still standing like broken mannequins, bodies twisted at wrong angles from the puppet's control. For bullets. For kills. 1 minute. 8-person professional hunting squad. Completely wiped out. I leave one alive. Lorne, the vice captain. The one who just got his class change and spent his entire life savings on it. Sorry, buddy. Wrong day to be on the B team. The soul harvesting hits me hard this time, though. 7 people's memories crammed into my skull in the span of a few minutes. My head feels like it's been microwaved. Everything is foggy and spinning. Turns out there's a limit to how many dead people's life experiences you can absorb before you need a nap. I also discover a time limit. The soul mist starts fading about 5 minutes after death. Wait too long, and you get less. Like a limited-time sale on stolen memories. After a few minutes of rest, the knowledge settles. And wow, I can feel it. Mechanical engineering, alchemy basics, combat techniques, gun skills, knowledge about this world. Months and years of training and study dumped into my brain in minutes. I am measurably, noticeably, significantly stronger than I was 10 minutes ago. This Death Reaper talent is absolutely broken. It's the most overpowered growth ability imaginable. Every person who dies near me is a walking textbook that I absorb on contact. I put the puppet back in its box. Look at Lorne. Tied up, terrified, just waking up from his puppet-induced nightmare, surrounded by the corpses of his entire team, and I feel a twinge of something. Guilt? Nah, more like mild inconvenience. I wasn't planning to do things this way, I tell him honestly. And I mean it. I really did just want to buy some water, but they had to go and poison it. Every single person in this world tries to kill me. Lorne looks at the bodies, looks at me, and his face goes white with pure terror. I stab a knife into his right leg before he can say a word. Here's how this works, I say calmly. I ask a question. You answer. Simple. Time to finally learn something about this world from someone who can't try to murder me. I spent an hour asking Lorne every question I could think of, then gave him a quick exit. Not out of cruelty, out of mercy. He'd seen my face, seen the puppet, seen me wipe out his entire team in 60 seconds. Letting him go would have been a death sentence for me. Turns out the only reason these guys didn't shoot me on sight was because of Ivan's fancy red pistol. The three-headed ghost. Apparently that gun is famous. And Ivan, not just some random thug. He was a legendary killer in the Crow Gang, known for being vicious, petty, and absolutely terrifying. Nobody messed with him. So when 8 hunters see a lone bald kid casually wearing Ivan's signature weapon on his hip, they don't just pull the trigger. They think, either this kid killed Ivan, in which case he's terrifying, or he's Ivan's buddy, in which case Ivan will come kill us all for touching his friend. They chose the poison water approach instead. Subtle, cautious, would have worked on literally anyone who didn't have magic X-ray eyes that can read ingredient labels on liquids. This world is going to learn that trying to poison me is a really, really bad strategy. The loot haul from 8 bodies was incredible. 10 more storage rings. Plenty of food and clean water. Well, clean, by underground standards, meaning it won't mutate me into a flesh balloon. Good enough. From Dick's corpse, 2 high-value items emerged after death, just like Ivan's golden armor and magic muscle. A creepy blood vessel. Cursed object. Trembling witch's blood vessel. Class change material for the gunsmith profession. Body compatibility for me, 61%. Meh. A golden bone. Golden humerus. A first-tier alchemic graft that replaces part of your skeleton. Plus 6 toughness. Plus 153% stability. Plus 175% bone hardness. According to Lorne, each of these would sell for at least 100,000 liso on the black market. A regular factory worker in this world makes 3,000 liso per month. So I'm casually carrying around 3 years of someone's salary in each pocket. Lorne also confirmed something terrifying. I was right to kill Dick instantly. As a professional gunsmith, Dick had replaced both his arms with gun and cannon prosthetics. The moment he got a chance, he would have turned into a human turret. And here's the kicker. Even if his brain was under the puppet's control, his mechanical arms had an automatic counterattack system built in. The arms would have started shooting on their own, because machines don't have minds to control. If I had hesitated for even 2 seconds, those robot arms would have turned me into Swiss cheese while Dick's brain was still on vacation. I killed him before the auto-defense triggered. Sometimes being ruthless isn't cruel. It's just math. Several more days of tunnel crawling later, including a couple more near-death encounters with cave monsters that I barely survived, I finally arrive at my destination. Old Lingdon. Well, that's impressive. It's an underground city. A massive one. Roughly the size of a major city's downtown area, completely enclosed by a concrete wall that's at least 100 meters tall. Like a dam, but circular, and surrounding an entire civilization. The wall itself tells a story. Giant claw marks from creatures I don't want to imagine. Crater impacts like meteor strikes. Corrosion patterns from magical attacks. Whatever happened here centuries ago, It was essentially a war between gods and monsters, and this wall was the battlefield. My eye confirms it. This wall is over 1,400 years old. The city is an ancient ruin that modern humans moved into, not something they built. They just found it and said, "This looks safe enough," and set up shop inside someone else's apocalypse shelter. Now, a smart person would walk up to one of the 4 massive city gates, show some ID, and walk in like a normal citizen. I am not a normal citizen. I have no ID. I have no legal identity. And the original owner of this face has people inside who want him dead. Walking through the front gate means getting checked. Getting checked means getting identified. Getting identified means getting assassinated. Hard pass. From Lauren's interrogation, I learned the full layout. Old Lingdon has an inner city for the rich elite, controlled by some duke and his family who run something called the Black Tower. The outer city is the slums, and it's carved up between 3 gangs. East Side, the Steam Brotherhood, mechanical specialists, cybernetic prosthetics, the works. Dick's people. South Side, the Iron Cross Society, fusion school, mix of everything. West Side, the Crow Gang, old school alchemists, traditional magic. Ivan's crew. These 3 gangs represent 3 branches of alchemy in this world. And here is where my brain finally stopped hurting from confusion about the technology. This world doesn't have normal technology. Everything is alchemy-based. The science here isn't physics and chemistry like back on Earth. It's equivalent exchange. Want to shoot fire? Convert Earth elements to fire elements using alchemic formulas. Want a mechanical arm that responds to your thoughts? It's not computer chips and neural interfaces. It's alchemic runes and enchanted metal bonded to your nervous system. The steam engines, the prosthetics, the magic armor, the enchanted bullets. None of it is pure technology or pure magic. It's all alchemy wearing different hats. The mechanical faction just uses alchemy to build machines. The old school faction uses alchemy to cast spells directly. And the fusion guys do both. Mystery solved. The tech tree isn't broken. It was never a tech tree at all. It's an alchemy tree, and it branches in directions that would make any Earth scientist have a stroke. Now, I can't join the Crow Gang because I killed their famous member Ivan. I can't join the Steam Brotherhood because I massacred their squad and their local celebrity Dick. That leaves exactly one option. The Iron Cross Society. South Side. I circle the city wall to the south section, and sure enough, there's an unofficial entrance. A rickety iron cage elevator dangling from the wall, operated by gang members, smuggling people in and out. The black market border crossing. No ID check. No questions. Just, are you joining us? Yes. Get in the basket. Joining a gang in this world is basically signing up to be a mercenary. The gangs handle everything the inner city doesn't want to deal with. Mutation outbreaks, violent incidents, wasteland missions, monster hunting. The pay is good and the resources are real, but the life expectancy is short. Most regular citizens would rather work a factory job for 3,000 liso a month until they die of old age than join a gang and die of being eaten by something at 25. Me? I have 2 S-rank talents, a mind control puppet, a dead man's famous gun, and the ability to get stronger every time something dies near me. Short life expectancy is a problem for people who plan on losing fights. I walk toward the elevator. Iron Cross Society it is. Let's go make some friends. And by friends, I mean people who hopefully won't try to poison my water within the first 5 minutes of meeting me. The bar is underground. Literally and figuratively. I ride the rusty cage elevator up the wall and step into my new life as a gang member. The whole recruitment process takes about 45 seconds. Want to join the Iron Cross Society? Yes. Name? Sulin. What's your talent? D016 Eagle Eye. Cool. Follow me. That's IT. No background check. No references. No. Tell me about a time you demonstrated teamwork. Just, can you fight? And, welcome aboard. HR departments back on Earth could learn a thing or two about efficiency. I lied about my talent, obviously. I'm not telling strangers I have 2 S-rank abilities. Eagle Eye is a common D-rank vision talent. Boring enough to be believable, useful enough to be worth recruiting. The perfect cover story. My new captain is a guy named Kai. Young, talkative, covered in blade-like metallic growths on his hands and feet. His alchemic graft called Blade. He's an agility class assassin and apparently just got promoted to run 3 blocks of territory in the entertainment district. His boss is a chain-smoking middle-aged man everyone calls Smoker. Smoker sits in a chair on the wall, puffing cigars and looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. He tells Kai to pick some recruits and get to work. Besides me, Kai picks 3 other guys. One has super strength, one has stone skin, one has enhanced smell. A real dream team of bottom-tier superpowers. I fit right in with my fake eagle eyes. Then Kai hands each of us a stack of cash. 20,000 liso. First month's salary. Up front. Before we've done a single thing. 20,000. A regular factory worker makes 3,000 a month. I just got paid almost 7 months of normal wages for walking up an elevator and saying my name. This is a gang, I'm thinking. This is better than most jobs. But then I understand. In a gang, nobody's guaranteed to see next month. The money comes first because the coffin might come second. It's not generosity. It's a going-away present you get to enjoy before you go away. We pile into an open-top steam-powered car and blast into the city. My first real look at Old Lingdon. It's rough. Imagine a bombed-out concrete city from a war movie, then stack shipping containers and industrial steel structures on top of the ruins like Lego blocks built by a drunk giant. Steam chimneys everywhere, belching smoke into the cavern ceiling. The sky is just rock and darkness, lit by scattered alchemic glowstones. No sun, no stars, just eternal underground twilight. The inner city is visible in the distance, another wall within the wall, lit up like a jewel box. I can see the top of something called the Black Tower, rising above everything. That's where the Duke and his family rule from. The haves and the have-nots, separated by concrete and centuries of inequality. Out here in the outer city, pure chaos dressed up as civilization. Kai seems to like me. He thinks my eagle eye talent makes me a good candidate for a gunslinger class and offers to help me find the right class change materials. Get your dark spirit power maxed out through meditation. Then we'll get you upgraded. Having 2 professionals on the squad would be huge. I nod and say nothing. If he knew I already had 2 S-rank talents and enough stolen memories to fill a library, he'd probably faint. Our destination, Green Street, one of the 3 biggest entertainment districts in Old Lingdon. And by entertainment, I mean gambling, drinking, and women. Lots of women. We arrive at what looks like an abandoned steel factory that's been converted into a gang hangout. Kai introduces us to the locals, more punk rock types with colorful hair and casual firearms. Everyone bumps fists. We're family now. Easy as that. The job is laughably simple. Show up at 7 p.m. Walk around Green Street for 30 minutes. Look tough. Go home. That's it. That's the whole job description. Everything else is free time. Patrol the streets, handle any trouble that comes up, and carry this communicator. If I call, you come immediately. Gang rules are strict about that. Otherwise, do whatever you want. So we start walking. And Green Street is something else. The first block is the red light district. Neon signs everywhere, not electric, but alchemic crystals that glow in every color imaginable. This underground city has no electricity, but it has neon lights. Because of course alchemy can replicate anything except clean drinking water. Women line the streets in outfits that leave approximately nothing to the imagination. They wave, they wink, they grab arms and blow kisses at passing gang members. Kai and the veterans know every single one by name. Elena, did you gain weight? No, I mean your texture improved. Lisa, where have you been? Hiding with some boyfriend? Moi? Captain Kai, coming to visit tonight? I keep a straight face and say nothing. I'm a bald, eyebrowless, smoky-eyed punk walking through a fantasy world's red light district surrounded by gangsters and courtesans. If someone had told me this would be my life a week ago, I would have asked what they were smoking. The second block is Bar Street. Industrial-themed taverns with steel everything. Steel walls, steel tables, steel mugs. The kind of places where the furniture is bolted down because bar fights happen hourly. Things get interesting at a place called the Elephant Tavern. The owner flags down Kai with a problem. Something in the sewers ate half a homeless man last night. Just bit him in half and left the rest in the alley behind the bar. There are sawtooth bite marks on the corpse, and people have been disappearing. Kai takes one look, kicks the body into a trash can, and tells the owner he'll look into it. He will not be looking into it. The old Lingdon sewers are a 1,000-year-old death maze. He explains to us new guys as we walk away. Nobody knows the full layout. It's crawling with mutant monsters. As long as they stay underground, we stay up here. Why risk your life when you could be having a good time instead? Fair point. Questionable work ethic. But fair point. The third block is Gambling Row. Underground fight clubs, card games, dice games, every flavor of losing your money quickly. And then we walk past the fighting pit. Two guys are brawling on a raised platform while crowds scream and wave money. It's brutal, bloody, bare-knuckle combat. And as I watch, one fighter goes down hard. Permanently. A gray mist rises from his body. Soul mist. A fresh memory fragment. Floating there, waiting to be harvested. Full of fighting techniques, combat experience, maybe rare skills. Just hovering above the corpse like an unclaimed prize at an arcade. Nobody else can see it. Nobody else even knows it's there. But I can. My eyes light up. I feel that familiar hunger, not in my stomach, but in my soul. The Death Reaper talent, practically purring with excitement. An underground fighting ring where people die regularly. An MY Patrol district that I visit every single night. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet of dead people's combat skills, and I have a VIP membership. I look at the ring. I look at the mist. I look at my future. Finally, this job just got interesting. First day on the job, and I've already found my personal gym. Except instead of treadmills and protein shakes, it has death matches and soul harvesting. Welcome to the Crimson Bunker, Green Street's most popular underground fighting arena. Two guys enter an octagon cage. One guy leaves. The other guy becomes my dinner. Spiritually speaking, the rules are beautiful in their simplicity. No rounds, no points, no mercy. Fight until someone dies. The crowd loves it because the kills are fast, unpredictable, and extremely violent. The gamblers love it because anything can happen in a death match, which makes the betting odds wild. And I love it because every corpse generates a nice little cloud of soul mist packed with combat skills and fighting experience that only I can see. Kai brings us inside, and the place is packed. Thousands of people crammed around the cage, screaming, waving money, high on some kind of alchemic drug that the venue pumps through the air to keep everyone hyped up. It smells sweet and makes your nerves buzz. Basically fantasy world cocaine perfume. This establishment has thought of everything. Crush his skull. Get up. I bet 10,000 on you. Don't you dare lose. Kill him. Kick his head off. Charming crowd. Really lovely people. Would bring my grandmother here. A massive fighter called Skull Crusher snaps his opponent's neck with his bare hands, and the place erupts. Half the room cheering, half the room cursing because they bet on the wrong guy. And floating above the fresh corpse, invisible to everyone but me, a beautiful, glowing gray mist full of stolen fighting techniques. My mouth is practically watering. My soul is doing backflips. Kai notices me staring and thinks I'm just impressed by my first death match. He gives us the tour, points out the VIP boxes with one-way glass on the upper level. See those? Rich people from the inner city. They come to our turf for entertainment because their fancy neighborhood doesn't have anything this exciting. They bet thousands like it's pocket change. He also warns us, don't mess with inner city people. Ever. They're from a different world. Picking a fight with them means trouble for the whole gang. We all nod like good little soldiers. Yes, Captain. After the tour, Kai declares the workday officially over. 30 minutes of walking around looking tough, and we're done. Best job I've ever had. The veterans scatter like cockroaches in every direction. Bars, brothels, gambling tables. Kai turns to us new guys and says, first day, go have fun. The bars and the ladies' establishments on this street are all under our protection, so you get discounts. The other 3 recruits practically sprint toward the red light district. Their eyes are glazed over with the universal look of men who just received 7 months of salary and discovered the nearest entertainment is 50 meters away. Suluin, you're not coming. Nah, I'll hang around here for a bit. They shrug and disappear into the neon-lit night. Priorities, gentlemen. Priorities. Kai also gives us one last piece of advice before leaving. He points at a big guy named Sam, the only veteran still hanging around, and uses him as a cautionary tale. See this idiot? Lost his entire monthly salary in one night of betting. Now he can't even afford food and his teammates have to buy him lunch. Don't be like Sam. Sam looks like a kicked puppy. I was winning at first. I was up several thousand. Then one upset happened and I tried to win it back. Classic gambler logic. Win, stay? Lose, double down. Lose again, triple down. Lose everything, cry. Same in every universe. Once Kai leaves, I get to work. I squeeze through the crowd toward the cage, as close as I can get. I need to be near the bodies when they're dragged out. The passage on the left side of the cage, that's where they pull the losers through. People try to shove back when I push forward, but one look at the Iron Cross logo on my jacket, and they swallow their complaints. Gang membership, already paying for itself. I find a nice, inconspicuous spot right by the body removal tunnel. Perfect harvesting position. A pretty girl carrying a bedding tray pushes through the crowd and presses against me. The place is so packed, she's practically glued to my side. She doesn't seem to mind at all. Want to place a bet, sir? You can't bet on this match anymore, but you can blind bet on the next one for bonus odds. Red corner. 1,000. I slap down some bills. She hands me a ticket, throws me a flirty look, and disappears back into the sea of bodies. I'm not fooling myself. She's not hitting on me because of my stunning bald, eyebrowless appearance. I watched these betting girls work the room earlier. They're professionals. Every winner tips generously, and these girls earn more in one night than most of the gamblers do. Smart hustle. Respect. Then the next fight starts, and I actually pay attention. What I see completely rewrites my understanding of combat. These fighters are nothing like what I knew back on Earth. Their strikes are surgical. Every punch targets a kill zone. Every opening gets exploited instantly with a finishing blow. No flashy moves. No showboating. Every single technique exists for one purpose: ending a life as efficiently as possible. If I stepped in that cage right now, I'd be dead before I could throw a single punch. My advanced combat beginner rating suddenly makes perfect sense. Back home, I could fight 10 regular guys. Here I wouldn't survive 10 seconds against one trained killer. This world's combat is built on centuries of people actually fighting to the death, every day, for survival. The techniques are refined by real blood, not gym sparring. It's the difference between a house cat and a tiger. But here's the beautiful thing. Every single fighter who dies in that cage drops a cloud of soul mist. Every death-refined combat technique, every killing instinct, every hard-won survival reflex, all of it floats up in a gray cloud that nobody can see but me. And this arena runs matches every single night. I lean against the wall, watching the fighters tear each other apart, feeling the Death Reaper talent humming with anticipation inside me. The other recruits want to chase women. Me? I found something better. An unlimited, nightly, free-of-charge combat skill buffet, served fresh and seasoned with blood. I think I'm going to like this job very, very much. The first body gets dragged past me, and nobody notices a thing. The gray mist lifts off the corpse. I inhale it like a deep breath, and boom, new memories flooding in. Obtain memory fragments of what Smith X2. Learn skill, ground technique, cross-arm lock. Combat experience 2. Wait. A complete skill? Not just experience points or random knowledge. An actual, fully formed fighting technique? That's never happened before. The Death Reaper just leveled up from steal vague memories to download entire martial arts moves from dead people. If complete skills can drop from regular fighters, then what about alchemists? Mages? Could I absorb entire spells from a dead sorcerer? The possibilities are making my head spin. And the math, 7 or 8 death matches per night, 200 plus corpses per month, each one potentially carrying combat techniques refined through actual life or death experience. I don't need to risk my life fighting monsters. I just need to stand next to a cage and wait for people to murder each other for me. This is the laziest power-leveling strategy in the history of any world, and I am fully committed to it. To blend in, I play the role of an enthusiastic gambler, cheering when my fighter wins, groaning when he loses. Just a normal bald punk enjoying the show. Nothing suspicious about the guy standing weirdly close to where they drag out the bodies. Nope, totally normal behavior. I even tipped the betting girl. She came back with her tray, pressed herself against me in the crowd like a friendly cat, congratulated me on winning my bet, and batted her eyelashes until I stuffed 200 liso into her top. This is not romance. This is customer service. These betting girls are smarter than half the gamblers here. They earn more in tips per night than most of these men win at the tables. Respect the hustle. I bet 1,000 on every remaining match. Red corner. Every time. Not because I have any insight, I just need an excuse to stand by the body exit tunnel all night without looking like a creep. One more than I lost, actually. Nice bonus on top of the soul harvesting. Meanwhile, and I didn't know this at the time, Kai was having me watched. Turns out our friendly captain isn't as laid back as he seems. He had his guys tailing all 4 new recruits, reporting back on what we did with our free time. His philosophy, passed down from his boss Smoker. Every normal person has at least one vice. Drinking, gambling, women, something. A person with no visible desires is either hiding something, extremely disciplined, or a monster. None of those make good friends. Smart logic, honestly. And fortunately, I'm gambling my face off at a deathmatch arena, which is about as normal vice as it gets in this world. The other 3 recruits went to bars and bathhouses. We all passed the test without knowing we were being tested. Then the main event happens. The regular octagon cage gets lowered into the floor, and a massive bulletproof glass dome rises up in its place. The crowd goes absolutely insane. The fat gambler next to me practically falls over with excitement. The blast shield is up. That means tonight's fighters are seriously powerful. First fighter enters. A prisoner, chained up, escorted by guards with mechanical arms. The crowd erupts. No way. Is that who I think it is? A rank wanted criminal Shadow Scorpion of Burke. A genuine second-tier professional. My eyebrows. Well, where my eyebrows used to be, shoot up. Second tier? For context, Captain Kai, who runs 3 blocks of territory and is considered a big deal, is barely first tier. Ivan the bulletproof bald maniac? First tier. Silver hands. Dick with the twin gun arms? First tier. Second tier is the next level entirely. This guy has killed so many people that his criminal file probably needs its own filing cabinet. Then the second fighter walks out. A huge man in a suit, hair slicked back with gel, knife scar across his left eye. Looks like a bodyguard from a mafia movie. His name, Red Demon, Goran. The gossip mill starts grinding immediately. Word around the arena is that this guy was a personal bodyguard for some powerful inner-city noble. Got caught sleeping with the noble's wife. The scandal went public, and now he's been donated to the fighting pit as punishment. Sleeping with the boss's wife and getting sentenced to death by gladiator combat. That's not just a bad career move. That's a catastrophically legendary bad career move. This man fumbled his entire existence for one affair. But the gamblers also say that inner-city bodyguards are selected for exceptional talent. Minimum C rank, possibly even rare B rank abilities. So despite his terrible life choices, this guy is probably extremely dangerous. 2 second-tier professionals. In a glass-enclosed death cage. One walks out, one doesn't. And I'm standing 15 feet away with a soul-eating superpower, waiting to absorb the loser's entire lifetime of elite combat training. The bell rings. Ding. And from the very first second, I realize I have never seen real fighting before. Everything up until now, the regular matches, my own combat experience, even the fights with Ivan, was amateur hour compared to what these two are about to do to each other. My eyes go wide. My pulse quickens. The Death Reaper talent hums with anticipation. Show me what second tier looks like. Looks like my red corner bet is going to lose this one. That's my first thought when the 2 fighters walk out. Shadow Scorpion. A Burke is an A-rank wanted criminal with a body count longer than a phone book. Red Demon, Goran is a bodyguard. A bodyguard who got fired and sentenced to death for sleeping with his boss's wife. One is a professional killer. The other is a professional idiot who thought with the wrong body part. Easy prediction, right? Wrong. So incredibly wrong. The bell hasn't even rung yet when a Burke makes his move. The second his chains come off, 2 guns appear in his hands like magic, and he fires point-blank at Goran. No warning. No posturing. Just immediate, shameless attempted murder. This guy has 0 honor, I'm thinking. No sportsmanship whatsoever. The referee is still holding the bell, and this maniac is already shooting. But honestly, I respect it. In a world where the loser dies, fighting fair is just dying with extra steps. This man didn't survive years as a wanted criminal by bowing before combat. The 2 shots are perfect, aim to kill, impossible to dodge at this range. Every gambler in the room holds their breath. A Burke's face has this cold, smug expression, like the fight is already over. Then Goran moves his hand. 2 sparks. 2 metallic clangs, and both bullets fall to the ground. Dead silence. Every jaw in the building hits the floor, including mine. He cut the bullets with a short knife. 2 bullets, fired at point-blank range, and this man in a suit just casually sliced them out of the air like he was swatting flies. Then he just stands there, face completely blank. Not impressed, not scared, not even mildly inconvenienced. He looks like a statue someone forgot to put emotions on. The crowd explodes. Red demon, red demon, red demon. 3,000 gamblers losing their minds simultaneously. I'm standing there with my mouth open, my enhanced eyes replaying what just happened, and my brain still refusing to believe it. This is second tier. This is the gap between the fighters I've been watching all night and the real deal. The regular death matches were boxing. This is a missile defense system shaped like a man in a nice suit. A Burke doesn't panic though. He's a professional killer, after all. His cloak whips up and a volley of throwing knives streak toward Goran. Ting, 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 ting. All deflected casually. But the knives were a distraction. In that split second of sparks, a Burke vanishes and reappears behind Goran with a black dagger aimed at his throat. His speed is unreal. Like teleportation. The crowd goes wild again. That's his C009 blink talent. Short-range explosive dash. Within 20 meters, opponents can't even draw a gun before he's behind them. A Burke is everywhere at once. His shadow fills the entire arena. He's attacking from every angle. Left, right, behind, above. A storm of steel moving faster than my old eyes could have tracked. My enhanced vision is the only reason I can follow what's happening, and even then I'm barely keeping up. In the time it takes me to blink, they've clashed 13 times and exchanged 2 elbow blocks. And Goran? Goran hasn't moved his feet. He's standing in the exact same spot where he started, swinging his short knife with surgical precision, blocking every single attack. His suit isn't even wrinkled. This man is being assaulted by a human blender, and he looks like he's waiting for a bus. The gamblers around me are arguing about who's winning. Goran keeps getting pushed back. Why won't he fight? He can't fight back. A Burke is too fast. Then some wise old gambler drops knowledge. You fools. That's the smart play. A Burke's blink talent burns massive energy. He can't keep this up forever. Goran is just waiting him out. When that speed runs dry, the scorpion becomes the prey. I can see it too. A Burke's attacks are getting a tiny bit slower. His breathing a tiny bit heavier. He started this fight sprinting, and now the tank is draining. Goran hasn't broken a sweat. Hasn't changed expression. Hasn't moved from his spot. He's not defending, he's waiting. Like a trap that hasn't sprung yet. Word must have spread, because suddenly the arena is filling up. Captain Kai shows up with his crew. Other gang members file in. Even the VIP boxes upstairs, where the inner-city rich people sit behind one-way glass, are getting crowded. Everyone wants to see what happens when 2 second-tier professionals stop playing and start trying to actually kill each other. And they haven't even used their real abilities yet. No alchemy. No magic circles. No alchemic grafts. Just weapons and footwork. This has been the warm-up round. The appetizer before the main course. I whisper to myself, the testing phase is over. The real fight is about to start. Because these aren't just fighters. They're alchemists. And alchemists don't just punch and stab. They transform. They transmute. They reshape reality according to the law of equivalent exchange. I grip the railing and lean forward, eyes wide. Death Reaper talent practically vibrating with anticipation. One of these 2 incredible warriors is about to die, and I'm going to eat his soul. Come on, boys. Show me what second tier really looks like. A Burke is throwing everything he's got at Goran. Guns, knives, teleportation strikes. And the suit-wearing bodyguard is just standing there swatting it all away like a man bothered by mosquitoes. His feet haven't moved. He's blocking a superhuman assassin's full assault without taking a single step. His suit is getting shredded, but the man inside is completely unbothered. I'm starting to think I bet on the right horse after all. Then a Burke pulls back, draws a magic circle on the ground with his foot in about 1.3 seconds, which is insanely fast. Ivan took way longer, and shouts the activation phrase. His clothes rip apart, and a 3-meter-long metal scorpion tail erupts from his back. It's made of some legendary alloy called mithril blue steel, connected in segments like a real scorpion's tail, with a razor-sharp triangular blade at the tip. The thing moves like it's alive, twisting, coiling, ready to strike. The crowd goes ballistic. That's his blue steel scorpion tail. That thing is indestructible. A Burke launches forward, and now the tail is doing the fighting. It extends, springs out like a metal snake, shooting toward Goran's chest faster than my eyes can comfortably follow. The guy built a retractable spear into his spine. The engineering alone must be mind-boggling. And every segment is covered in tiny alchemic runes. Now Goran actually has to move. The short knife can't block this thing head-on. The tail is too fast, too powerful, and the enclosed arena gives him nowhere to run. Sparks fly everywhere. Clang, clang, clang. Hundreds of clashes in seconds. Goran's suit is in tatters. Blood is starting to show, but he's still not using any special abilities. No magic circle. No alchemic graft. Just a short knife and footwork. What is this guy waiting for? I'm wondering. He's a second-tier professional too. He has to have something up his sleeve. So why isn't he using it? Then I get my answer. A window opens in the VIP section above. A fat man with a handlebar mustache and gold-rimmed monocle leans out and shouts down at the arena. Kill him, and I'll set you free. The crowd goes quiet. Someone whispers, that's Minsai Batalov, head of the Batalov alcohol group. One of the richest men in the inner city. So that's the story. This is Batalov's show. Goran is his former bodyguard, the one who slept with his wife. And Batalov isn't just here to watch him die. He's here to watch him fight first, then die. Maximum humiliation. Maximum entertainment. But Goran was waiting for exactly this moment. He needed to hear it from the man himself. The promise of freedom. The second those words leave Batalov's mouth, something changes. Goran's entire aura transforms. The cold, mechanical calm vanishes and is replaced by something terrifying. Raw, volcanic killing intent. His eyes go from bored statue to awakened predator in a heartbeat. A Burke feels it. This hardened serial killer, this A-rank wanted criminal who's murdered more people than most soldiers, he flinches. For the first time tonight, real fear crosses his face. He makes a desperate move. His jaw unhinges, literally dislocates like a snake, and reveals a metal tube in his throat. Purple toxic gas erupts from his mouth, flooding the entire arena in seconds. The blast shield that was supposed to protect the audience becomes a perfect gas chamber, trapping both fighters in poison fog. Nobody can see anything. The arena goes silent. I'm thinking, well, that's game over. Even if Goran is stronger, you can't fight what you can't see while breathing lethal poison. Best case for my red corner bet is mutual destruction. Then we hear it. Thud. Something hits the blast shield so hard the glass shakes. Thud. Another impact, different direction. A shadow smashes against the glass and disappears. The crowd holds its breath. Then a roar echoes through the arena. Not human. Not even close to human. Something monstrous. Something that makes my skull vibrate and my vision blur even through the glass. It sounds like a demon waking up angry. Then, thud, 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 thud. Rapid hammering. Like a jackhammer made of fists, the entire building trembling with each impact. Silence. Complete silence. Every gambler in the building is staring at the purple fog with the same expression. What just happened? Match over. Red corner wins. The ventilation system kicks on, sucking the poison gas underground. The purple fog clears like a curtain lifting on a stage, and standing in the center of the arena is a monster. 7 feet tall. Muscles bulging like they're trying to escape his skin, and his entire body is bright red. Blood red. Demon red. He looks like someone took a comic book supervillain and made him real. Is that Hellboy? Is my first thought. But no horns. Close enough, though. On the ground at his feet, what's left of a Burke? Not a body. A pile. The indestructible, blue steel scorpion tail is snapped into pieces like dry pasta. Whatever happened in that fog was so violent, so overwhelmingly one-sided, that a notorious A-rank criminal with a legendary weapon was reduced to abstract art on the floor. Someone in the crowd gasps. His talent. It's not just a nickname. He actually has the B002 red demon talent. One of the strongest close combat abilities in existence. They say it's more powerful than most A-rank talents. B-rank. Not S-rank. Not even A-rank. B-rank. And this guy just turned a second-tier professional into modern art without breaking a sweat. He was holding back the entire fight, playing defense with a knife while hiding this inside him. No wonder the inner city keeps all the best resources. No wonder people kill to get in there. If a random bodyguard is this powerful, what are the actual fighters like? Captain Kai appears next to me, staring at the red giant with the same awe I'm feeling. He mutters, "The inner city has over 90% of all alchemic resources in Old Lingdon. The best cursed objects, the most class advancement paths, the rarest talent holders. That's why everyone fights to get in there." I hear him. I understand. And I'm looking at the gray soul mist rising from a Burke's mangled remains on the arena floor, already calculating how to get close enough to absorb it. A second-tier professional's combat memories. Assassin techniques. That blink talent's muscle memory. Years of killing experience. All floating there in a little gray cloud, waiting for me. Excuse me. Pardon me. Coming through, I squeeze toward the body removal tunnel, heart pounding, Death Reaper talent screaming with hunger. This world is terrifying. The gap between me and the real powerhouses is enormous. A B-rank bodyguard just casually destroyed an A-rank criminal like swatting a fly. But that's fine. That's actually perfect. Because every monster that dies near me makes me stronger. And in this city, monsters die every single night. Kai shows up next to me after the fight, staring at the arena with this mix of awe and envy. He starts talking about the inner city, how they hoard 90% of all alchemic resources, the best cursed objects, complete class advancement systems, rare talent holders. Everything good in this world is behind that second wall. Don't underestimate inner city people, he says, quoting his old boss Smoker. If you ever get a chance to see it for yourself, it'll change your whole perspective. He's talking to me, but also talking to himself. I can tell this kid has ambitions beyond being a street-level gang captain. He saved every penny, volunteered for dangerous missions, and clawed his way to professional status, while most gang members were blowing their salaries on booze and women. I kind of respect that. He asks how my gambling went. I shrug. 1, 2, or 3,000. Small bets, small fun, he says in his best, wise old mentor voice, which is hilarious because he's barely older than me. Save your money. Becoming a professional costs a fortune, materials, knowledge, grafts. It all adds up. Got it, Captain. He leaves. The crowd thins out. Losers cursing, winners cashing tickets, torn betting slips carpeting the floor like confetti at the world's most violent party. I stay behind, because I'm waiting for dessert. A Burke's body is still on the arena floor. Well, what's left of a Burke's body? The staff picks through the remains, collecting valuable cursed materials from the wreckage. They don't care about the actual corpse. They stuff the leftover meat chunks onto a canvas sheet and drag it toward the exit tunnel. Right past me. The gray mist is still there, hovering above the pile of former assassin. Fading, but present. I reach out and inhale it as the body passes, smooth as breathing. Nobody notices a thing. Then the memories hit me. This one is intense. For memory fragments from a second-tier professional. It's like getting punched in the brain by a highlight reel of someone's entire criminal career. Murders, escapes, fights, techniques. Decades of experience compressed into a few seconds of skull-splitting mental download. When my head stops spinning, I check what I got. First, advanced alchemy knowledge. Actual theoretical understanding of alchemic principles. Not just, what does this button do, but why does this button exist? Massive upgrade from the basics I'd been scraping together. Second, assassin class combat experience. Plus 26 points. That's more combat experience than everything else I've collected combined. Dirty tricks, kill angles, stealth approaches, weak point targeting. All the nastiest techniques a career murderer spent his whole life perfecting. Third, firearms experience plus 19. 19. My gun skill meter just jumped from decent to seriously dangerous. Fourth, and this is the big one, I learned a complete advanced gun technique. It's called gunfighting art, and it lets you curve bullets. Yes, you read that correctly. Curve bullets around corners. Remember when I first got my basic firearms mastery rating and joked, what does advanced look like? Bullets that turn corners. That was a joke. I was being sarcastic. This world took my sarcasm and said, actually, yes, exactly that. In a Burke's memories, I can see him doing it. He flicks his wrist at a specific angle while firing, and the bullet traces an arc through the air, bending around cover to hit a target hiding behind a wall. Like that movie where they curve bullets, except this is real. The physics nerd in me is screaming. Bullets go straight. Gravity pulls them down. There is no sideways force after the bullet leaves the barrel. Where does the turning force come from? Answer: wind element alchemy. You use alchemic conversion to create a lateral air current that pushes the bullet mid-flight, combined with a special spiral spin imparted during the firing motion. The gun also needs to be strong enough to handle the unusual barrel stress. It's not magic. It's physics-defying alchemy that looks like magic. This world is absolutely insane, and I am absolutely in love with it. But, and this is a big but, knowing the theory doesn't mean I can do it. My brain downloaded the technique, but my body can't perform it. The flick motion alone requires wrist strength and precision that this body doesn't have yet. My muscles haven't built the memory. It's like downloading a piano concerto into your brain, but your fingers have never touched a keyboard. Brain, you know exactly how to curve a bullet. Hand, I literally cannot do the flick. Brain, but the knowledge is right here. Hand, cool. Still can't. My firearms mastery is at 239 out of 300 for basic level. Even when it hits intermediate, I probably still won't be able to use gunfighting art properly. It might take reaching advanced mastery before I can reliably bend a shot around cover and hit what I'm aiming at. Oh, and buried in a Burke's memories? A juicy little secret. Apparently, even after getting captured, a Burke had hidden stashes the authorities never found. And there's something called a sealed object still sitting in a place called the Moon Hotel that he never retrieved. Whatever it is, it was important enough that he believed losing it was the reason he got caught. Free loot, just sitting in some hotel somewhere, waiting for someone who knows the secret to walk in and grab it. And now I'm the only person alive who knows where it is. I file that away for later. The fighting pit is empty now. The staff is mopping blood. The neon lights outside are starting to dim. My first day as a gang member is officially over. I won some money. I absorbed 6 fighters' worth of soul memories. I learned a legendary curved bullet technique. I discovered a dead man's secret treasure stash. And I realized that the gap between me and the real powers in this world is approximately the size of the Grand Canyon. But that gap is going to shrink. Every single night. One dead fighter at a time. Time to go home. Get some rest. Come back tomorrow. Do it all again. I pat the gun on my hip, the same gun that can't yet fire a curved bullet, and smile. Someday soon it will. So I just absorbed an A-rank criminal's entire soul, and I'm standing there processing the flood of information like a computer downloading a massive file. My brain hurts. My eyes are buzzing. But the loot? Absolutely worth it. Let me break down what I got from one dead assassin. Combat experience. Plus 26 for assassin techniques. Plus 19 for firearms. That's more skill growth in 3 seconds than most people get in years of training. Dirty tricks, kill angles, poison strategies, escape routes, decades of professional murder knowledge, all mine now. Advanced alchemy theory. Not baby's first potion stuff, actual complex alchemic principles. My understanding of this world science just jumped several grades. And the crown jewel, a complete advanced gun technique called gunfighting art, which, as I mentioned in my earlier internal monologue, lets you curve bullets around corners. Still can't actually do it because my body is too weak for the wrist flick, but I know how. Someday soon. Someday. Oh, and one bonus prize, a secret. Buried in a Burke's memories is the location of something called a sealed object, hidden at a place called the Moon Hotel. Whatever it is, a Burke considered it his most valuable possession. Important enough that losing access to it was basically why he got captured. Free treasure. Just sitting there. Waiting. But I'm not stupid enough to go grab it right now. A Burke just got arrested. The Umbrella Organization, the inner city's special law enforcement, is probably tracing every location he ever visited. Walking into the Moon Hotel right now would be like strolling into a police stakeout wearing a sign that says, "I know where the loot is. I file it away." Let the heat die down. Months from now, when nobody's watching anymore, I'll go shopping. The fights are over for tonight. The crowd drains out of the Crimson Bunker like bathwater. Winners cash their tickets. Losers swear they'll win it back tomorrow. The floor is carpeted with torn betting slips. Meanwhile, upstairs in the VIP boxes, events are unfolding that I know nothing about. The head of the Steam Brotherhood, a cigar-chomping beast of a man called Butcher Banner, just watched the whole show. He's already making moves to recruit Red Demon Goran, Figuring a disgraced second-tier bodyguard with nowhere to go is perfect gang material. He's also got plans for Green Street. My street. Apparently, the Steam Brotherhood thinks our Captain Kai is just a rookie kid who can be easily eliminated. Banner is planning to send people to wipe out our entire squad as a test of the Iron Cross Society's leadership. Oh, and there's more happening tonight. Banner has intel that the Crow Gang, backed by inner-city power players, is planning to raid the Iron Cross Society's main warehouse. Something about an ancient artifact the Cross Society recovered from some ruins. Everybody wants it. Banner isn't participating in the raid. He's just going to watch the chaos and maybe steal something in the confusion. Classic vulture behavior. I know none of this. I'm out on the street, wandering Green Street, eating mushroom soup and black bread at a dingy restaurant. Getting familiar with my new neighborhood. The outer city at night is something else. Neon alchemic lights everywhere. Street artists with dark punk graffiti covering every wall. Steam pipes hissing from cracked walls in every alley. Drunk hunters passed out next to garbage bins while rats sniff them to see if they're food yet. I peek down at the sewer grates and see pairs of glowing red eyes staring back from the darkness below. Whatever ate that homeless man behind the Elephant Tavern is still down there. Still hungry. Still watching. I eat my weird mystery meat dinner. My eye confirms it's not poisonous, and that's good enough for me. And think about how my daily work schedule is literally 30 minutes of walking around looking tough. Best job-to-pay ratio in any universe. Then my communicator screams. All units. Rally at the Imperial Bathhouse Alley. Now, Kai's voice. No explanation. Just urgency. I abandon my soup and sprint to the meeting point. When I get there, the alley is already packed with dozens of Iron Cross members. Steam motorcycles rumbling. Armored transport vehicles idling. Weapons and ammunition being handed out like party favors. This is not a patrol. This is a war mobilization. Most of the gang members don't seem worried. They're grinning and joking like they've done this before, which they probably have. Gang wars are apparently just another Tuesday around here. But I notice the volume of weapons being distributed. The armored vehicles. The serious look on Kai's face. This isn't a bar fight. Kai keeps it short. The gang's main warehouse has been attacked. We're heading there immediately. We don't know who the enemy is yet, but everyone. Prepare for battle. I look at the guns being passed around. I look at the grim-faced veterans loading their weapons. I look at the recruits who were chasing women an hour ago, now strapping on armor. First day on the job. 30 minutes of peaceful patrol work, an evening of soul harvesting at the fights, one bowl of mushroom soup, and now I'm riding into a gang war. I check my guns. Regular ammo in one, alchemy rounds in the other. Puppet box at my hip. Enhanced eyes scanning the dark streets ahead. You know what? This job has terrible work-life balance. First day. I haven't even finished my mushroom soup, and I'm already heading into a gang war. The communicator screams, I abandon my dinner, and 3 minutes later, I'm standing in a dark alley surrounded by dozens of armed gang members loading up like they're about to invade a small country. Kai gives the briefing in about 6 words. Headquarters attacked. We're going. Prepare for war. Everyone grabs weapons from the armored supply truck. I queue up like it's a buffet line and grab some ammo and a couple of hand grenades. You know, casual Tuesday evening supplies. Then the convoy launches. And I have to say, gang motorcycles in this world are insane. Steam-powered bikes of every shape imaginable. 2 wheels, 3 wheels, 4 wheels, one giant, well like a hamster ball of death. All custom-built by the gang's own mechanics. Exposed engines, bouncing suspension systems that can launch a bike 10 meters into the air, hood-mounted machine guns, grappling hooks. It's like someone gave a bunch of meth-fueled mechanics unlimited access to a junkyard and said, go wild. The veterans are howling with excitement. Rocket launchers on their backs, oversized guns in their hands, screaming war cries as they blast down the street. These lunatics aren't scared. They're having the time of their lives. I quietly position myself in the middle of the convoy. 1,000 movies taught me one thing. Front cars get ambushed, rear cars get cut off, middle cars survive. I also make sure I'm near the veteran fighters, not the other rookies. When bullets start flying, I want to be next to people who know which end of the gun to point forward. Kai notices me and tells Sam to look after the new guys. Sam gives his usual, sure thing, boss, and goes back to looking like the world's most relaxed man heading into combat. Meanwhile, and I learn all this later, here's what's actually happening at headquarters. A squad of masked attackers has broken into the Iron Cross Society's main building, the Black Forest Tower. They fought through the guards and reached the underground vault, a massive silver door made from ancient alchemic metal that's supposedly indestructible. No bomb can crack it. No codebreaker can hack it. So what do? They brought a scythe. A 2-meter-long black scythe that burns with dark fire and radiates literal death incarnate energy. A sealed object, one of those ultra-rare, ultra-dangerous supernatural artifacts. The kind of thing that makes even the people carrying it nervous. One guy picks it up, swings it at the vault door from 10 meters away, and a crack appears in the air like reality itself got cut. The blade phases through space and slices into the meter-thick alloy like it's paper. But each swing costs something horrible. The wielder looks like he aged 5 years from one cut. So they rotate. For different people, take one swing each. For cuts, one square hole in an indestructible door. They kick the block out and walk into the vault. Take the target item. Everything else. Grab what you can carry. Back to me. Blissfully ignorant of all this. Riding in a convoy of screaming gang members through the streets of Old Lingdon. I had a bad feeling from the start. If someone is bold enough to attack the Iron Cross Society's headquarters, they definitely planned for reinforcements. If I were running this operation, I'd set up ambushes on every route leading to the building. So my eyes are scanning everything. Every rooftop, every alley, every shadow. We hit a bridge. The only direct route to headquarters. The lead vehicle explodes. Boom. High explosive mine. The front car flips into the air, spinning like a coin, trailing fire and metal fragments. The shockwave knocks over several motorcycles behind it. Riders go flying. Metal shrapnel everywhere. Ambush, Kai screams. Brakes screeching. Chaos erupting. Bikes skidding sideways. I was ready for this. The second I see the lead car jolt upward, I'm already moving. One hand on the railing, I vault off the still sliding vehicle, hit the ground in a combat roll, find a thick concrete pillar, and press my entire body behind it. Jump. Cover. Draw gun. 3 moves. 1 second. The bridge erupts into a full-scale firefight. Masked gunmen on the far side are dug into defensive positions, pouring sniper fire into our stalled convoy. Our guys are screaming, shooting back, using overturned bikes as cover, pulling out heavy weapons. Bullets are everywhere. The sound is deafening. Explosions rocking the bridge supports. Tracer rounds painting bright lines through the darkness. I'm pressed against my concrete pillar, holding a small mirror out past the edge to see what's happening without exposing my head. Old survival trick. Works in every universe. Through the mirror I can see professional ambush setup, fortified positions, overlapping fields of fire. These aren't random thugs. This is a coordinated military operation. Then, THWAP, a severed arm drops out of the sky and lands at my feet, blackened with gunpowder burns. Still smoking, blood pooling around the stump. Before I can process that delightful image, a bullet fragment smacks the concrete pillar right next to my face. Stone chips spray across my cheek, leaving a burning cut. I taste blood. I smell cordite and burning metal. A man is screaming somewhere to my left. The bridge is shaking from explosions. First day on the job. First day. I went from eating mushroom soup to dodging artillery fire in approximately 11 minutes. I press my back against the concrete, check both guns, and mutter to myself. You know, they really undersold the mortality rate during the recruitment process. Hiding behind a concrete pillar during a gang war is not a long-term survival strategy. Concrete doesn't stop alchemic bullets. I need better cover. I spot an armored steam car nearby with reinforced plating. That's my new best friend. But between me and the car, open ground, bullets flying everywhere. So I do the math. I memorize the enemy sniper positions using my mirror. I take a deep breath, roll out from behind the pillar, and fire 3 shots mid-roll at the bridge's far side. One of them hits a gunman right in the head. He drops. I slam into cover behind the armored car, heart pounding. Safe. Well, safer. Sam appears next to me, grinning like a maniac. Hey, not bad, rookie. Most new guys freeze up their first time. You actually shot someone. Then he peeks at the bridge and sees the headshot. His eyebrows go up. Your aim is really good. I shrug. Honestly, I surprised myself too. The tactical roll, the snap aim, the shot. It all came out smooth and automatic. Like I'd done it 1,000 times. Which, technically, I have. Just not with my own body. All those harvested gun memories are paying off. My muscles are catching up to what my brain already knows. Kai notices too. Gives me a quick look of surprise. But there's no time for compliments. Bullets are still raining down like angry metal hail. The firefight drags on. Both sides dug in, trading shots. The good news, nobody's using super expensive alchemic rounds for a bridge skirmish. Regular bullets only. Which means my armored car cover is actually holding up. But we're losing the time game. Every minute we're stuck here is another minute the attackers have inside headquarters. And that's exactly what the ambushers want, to delay us until the vault is cleaned out. Kai knows this, and he makes a crazy decision. Cover me on 3. Everyone stares at him. Captain, you're going to charge across the bridge, in the open, against entrenched snipers, with possible special ammunition waiting for any professional who shows their face? This is suicide with extra steps. But Kai's already activated his graft. Orange magic circle on the ground, hand signs flashing, and his forearms and shins transform. Bone pushing outward, hardening into razor-sharp metallic blades. He looks like a human praying mantis made of knives. 3, 2, 1, go. Every gun on our side opens up simultaneously. Sam grabs a rocket launcher from the supply trunk and fires it across the bridge. I'm dual-wielding, blazing away with both pistols. Kai launches himself into the air. One leap, 30 meters, easy. He lands on a bridge pillar, kicks off, and covers another 30 meters. 2 jumps, and he's eyeing the enemy position, blade swinging. Charge, Sam screams. Everyone rushes forward like unleashed animals. I run with them because staying behind alone is somehow even more dangerous than running toward the gunfire. By the time I reach the other side, Kai has already carved through most of the ambush team. Bodies everywhere. The fighting is basically over. A one-man mantis blender dropped into a squad of mercenaries. Kai is sitting on a crate getting a bullet wound in his stomach bandaged. Just casually patching up a gunshot like it's a paper cut. Injects a healing potion and immediately starts barking orders to clear the road and move out. This kid is actually insane. Brave insane, but insane. While everyone cleans up, I helpfully volunteer to move bodies. Nobody questions the new guy being a team player. The real reason? 14 fresh corpses with glowing soul mist. I walk past each one, absorbing memory fragments like a Roomba vacuuming a dirty carpet. Combat tactics, weapon skills, mercenary knowledge, all mine now. Productive community service. We race to headquarters. I'm expecting another massive battle. Instead, quiet. A few scattered gunshots in the distance. Some weird fog blanketing the area. But no war zone. No explosions. No chaos. Kai sees the fog and practically cheers. That's Smoker's ability. The veterans start celebrating. If Smoker's here, everything's fine. Turns out, while we were stuck on the bridge, the Iron Cross Society's actual leadership showed up. The guild president and his top officers returned from their expedition just in time to catch the vault raiders red-handed. The raiders panicked, grabbed what they could, blew a hole in the floor, and scattered into the sewer system. Some got caught. Most didn't. We roll up to the Black Forest building and start meeting the bosses. First, Smoker, Sambu, the guy from the wall this morning. He's materializing out of fog like a ghost, just casually assembling himself from smoke particles. His ability lets him turn into mist. That's why the whole area was foggy. He is the fog. Second, Night Angel, Gord, who drops out of the sky on metal wings. Actual retractable steel feathers on his back. He lands, the wings fold and vanish, and he's just a normal-looking dude. I stare at those wings and immediately start scheming. A flying alchemic graft? For a puppet master who needs agility and mobility, give me that blueprint. Third, four-armed Rakshasa, Senjo. And oh boy, she jumps off a rooftop carrying an unconscious prisoner on her shoulder like a sack of potatoes. She's got green hair in a high ponytail, for different colored swords on her waist, and her outfit is, let's call it, strategically minimal, samurai-style bottom half, bandage wrap-up. Top, bare arms covered in full-sleeve demon tattoos, and a back tattoo of a Rakshasa demon that radiates such intense killing energy that I can feel it from across the street. Also, she's stacked like a weapons armory, and I mean that in every possible interpretation. She spots Kai and immediately starts teasing him. Hey, little Kai, heard you're running Green Street now. When are you going to set me up for a good time? Kai, without missing a beat. Anytime, big sis. If the guys at the brothels aren't good enough, I'll personally volunteer. Senjo looks him up and down with theatrical disgust. With those skinny arms? I'd break you in 5 minutes. The entire convoy of gang members erupts in laughter. Sam and the boys start yelling, pick me, like schoolchildren. I'm standing in the crowd trying very hard to be invisible, but even I crack a smile. These people were just in a gunfight 20 minutes ago, and now they're making dirty jokes. The emotional whiplash in this gang is remarkable. Then the mood shifts. Everyone notices the unconscious prisoner Senjo dragged back, one of the vault raiders. Smoker and Night Angel exchange meaningful looks. This guy is going to have a very bad interrogation session in his near future. Then a group walks out of the Black Forest building. And when the person in front appears, every single gang member, veterans, officers, captains, even the 3 senior officers, snaps to attention and calls out in unison. President, the boss himself. The head of the Iron Cross Society. The man with the A017 gravity field talent. Arbiter, Chuck. I stand in the back of the crowd, silent, watching. First day. Survived a gang war. Harvested 14 souls. Met the entire leadership. Saw flying metal wings I desperately want. Not bad for a Tuesday. The big boss himself steps out of the building, and every single person snaps to attention like soldiers at inspection. Arbiter, Chuck. President of the Iron Cross Society. South City's ultimate power player. Brown suit, wool overcoat, round hat pulled low, thick beard, wolf eyes, built like a shorter mountain. This man looks exactly like what a mafia godfather should look like. If you looked up, "Don't mess with me," in the dictionary, his photo would be there. Twice. Good work, everyone, he says, calm as a pond. Then he gets briefed. The raiders use something called the Scythe of Hypnos, a sealed object that can cut through literally anything, to slice open the vault door. A weapon so powerful it can't even fit in a storage ring because of its size and energy output. Chuck immediately orders a citywide lockdown of the South District. The scythe is too big to hide. Find it. Nobody leaves. Captain Scatter. Orders fly. The machine of organized crime cranks into motion. Our convoy starts heading back to Green Street. And Senjo, the 4-sword warrior woman with the demon tattoos and the outfit that leaves approximately nothing to imagination, tosses an unconscious prisoner onto our truck like a bag of laundry. Take this one to the interrogation center, Kai. Easy enough. The interrogation place is just 3 blocks away. Quick detour. On the ride back, Kai announces a bonus. Everyone who participated gets 50,000 liso. And since Green Street arrived first, we get an extra 50,000. The entire convoy goes absolutely feral with joy. 100,000 liso. That's 5 months of salary. For one evening's work. Sure, 6 guys died and a dozen got injured on that bridge, but for the survivors? Payday. This is the math of the outer city. Your life is worth less than 100,000, and everyone knows it. The guys who lost arms will use the bonus to buy mechanical replacements and then spend the rest at the brothels. The dead guys get forgotten by morning. Dark? Yes, but also honest. No pretending. No corporate euphemisms. You fight, you might die, and if you don't die, you party. And honestly, I kind of love it. Back on Earth, years of psychiatric treatment and juvenile detention taught me to lock down my emotions perfectly. Too perfectly. After they cured me, nothing felt exciting anymore. No horror movie. No extreme sport. No danger. My brain had been trained to flatline every emotional spike. Life became this gray, dull, tasteless thing. But here, getting shot at on a bridge, charging through gunfire, absorbing souls from fresh corpses, my pulse is actually elevated. I feel alive. This broken, violent, underground nightmare world is the first place that's made me feel something real in years. And I'm not sure if that says more about this world or about me. Anyway, while everyone celebrates, my brain does what it always does, starts picking apart the puzzle. Who attacked us? And why? The raiders were North City mercenaries, not gang members. Hiring that many professionals costs serious money. This wasn't a rival gang operation. This was funded by inner city money. Someone rich and powerful wanted something specific from that vault. They also had intelligence about when Chuck would be away, which means someone told them the leadership was out of town. Except, Chuck wasn't out of town. He was hiding in the city, waiting for exactly this attack. The whole "President is away" story was bait, which means Chuck knew the attack was coming. He let it happen on purpose. He let his own headquarters get raided so he could catch the raiders in the act. But why would a gang boss let his own vault get cracked open? That's humiliating. Unless the real goal wasn't stopping the robbery. It was finding the mole. An operation this big, knowing the vault layout, the security codes, the leadership schedule, requires an insider. Someone in the Iron Cross Society is feeding information to the enemy. And Chuck set this whole thing up as a trap to smoke them out. The captured prisoner is the key. If he talks during interrogation, the traitor is exposed. Which means, if there is a traitor, and the prisoner is heading to interrogation right now, then the traitor needs that prisoner dead before he can talk. The interrogation center is 3 blocks away. If someone's going to make a move, it would be now, on the road, before the prisoner reaches safety. I think this to myself, look at the unconscious prisoner on the truck ahead of me, and my brain goes, you know, if this were a movie, a sniper would shoot this guy in about 3 seconds. Bang. The prisoner's head explodes like a watermelon. One shot. Perfect accuracy. From somewhere I can't see. The body slumps over, headless, blood spraying across the truck bed. I stare at the mess. I literally just thought that. The words were still forming in my brain. Someone should kill this prisoner right about in. Bang. My face twitches. I really need to stop predicting things. I'm too good at it. But what this really means is, I was right. There is a mole inside the Iron Cross Society. Someone with enough access and position to know that a prisoner was being transported to interrogation, and enough connections to have a sniper positioned along the route. First day in this gang. I've survived a bridge ambush, harvested 14 souls, met the entire leadership, earned 100,000 LISO bonus, and now I'm sitting 3 meters from a freshly assassinated prisoner in what is clearly the opening act of a massive internal conspiracy. Some people join gangs for the money, some for the women, some for the power. Me? I joined for the plot. And this story is getting really interesting. The prisoner's head just exploded 3 meters in front of me, and I'm already doing math. One shot. Alchemic bullet. You can tell by the sound. Way louder than normal gunfire. Southwest direction, based on the blood splatter trajectory. Roughly 1,300 meters, based on the entry angle through the skull and the hole in the truck floor. The shooter is on that tall building over there. Also, there won't be a second shot. How do I know? Because I already figured out the entire plot 5 seconds before the gun went off. The sniper is here to silence the prisoner, not to fight us. Mission accomplished. They're already packing up. Wasting expensive alchemic rounds on random gang nobodies would be pointless, and every second they stay increases the chance of getting caught by the senior officers nearby. Everyone else is panicking, diving behind cover, screaming about snipers, scanning rooftops. Me? I'm eyeing that headless corpse like it's a treasure chest in a video game. That's a second-tier professional's body. Prime soul missed. When in my life am I ever going to get this close to a freshly killed elite fighter again? So I do the only logical thing. I make a very heroic diving roll across the open ground, land right next to the truck with the body, and press myself against it like a brave soldier protecting his fallen comrade. Kai and the veteran stare at me with genuine surprise. Did that rookie just charge toward the sniper threat? They think I'm being brave. They think I ran to the most dangerous position to help the team. I am literally here to touch the dead body. But I need a cover story, so I shout. The shooter is southwest, 1,300 meters, that tall building. This is all real analysis, by the way. My firearms knowledge is now advanced enough to calculate bullet trajectories from impact patterns. My enhanced eyes spotted the shooter's silhouette on the rooftop before he disappeared. I'm not making this up. I just have very selfish reasons for sharing the intel from this particular location. While everyone processes my tactical genius, I casually reach toward the body and absorb the gray mist. 3 memory fragments from a second-tier professional. The jackpot hits my brain like a freight train. No combat skills this time, but something potentially even more valuable. Alchemy knowledge. Real alchemy knowledge. Plus 31 experience points worth. And a new language. Ancient Nidean. the foundational tongue that all old-school alchemic texts are written in. This changes everything. See, I've been treating this world like a shooter game. Guns, bullets, combat skills. But the real power system is alchemy. Everything connects back to it. The magic armor, the class changes, the grafts, the potions, the enchantments, the laws of equivalent exchange that govern this entire universe. Guns are starter weapons. Alchemy is the endgame. And now I have my first real foothold in understanding it. My stat panel shows 2 new skills. Alchemy, Basic Beginner, and Ancient Nidean, Beginner. Not much, but it's a foundation. Every skyscraper starts with a single brick. Every alchemist starts with accidentally blowing up their first potion. Oh, and there's a bonus memory fragment. Something about a manuscript hidden in a place nobody would expect. This is probably whatever the raiders were trying to steal from the vault tonight. The dead guy knew where it was hidden, and that secret died with. Wait, no it didn't. I just absorbed it. Except the memory is frustratingly incomplete. I know the manuscript exists. I know it's hidden somewhere clever. I do not know where. Classic treasure map missing the important part situation. The universe loves teasing me. Meanwhile, Kai finally figures out what I already knew. The sniper was only here to kill the prisoner, not us. But he's furious. The senior officers trusted him with that prisoner, and now the guy is headless on his watch. He looks like a kid who broke his mom's favorite vase. We're going after that sniper. You, and you. With me. He points at me too, probably because of my brave sprint earlier. Fine by me. I already know we won't catch anyone. We run to the building. Empty. Obviously. Any sniper worth their salary was gone before the echo of the shot faded. Kai finds Night Angel Gord already at the scene, who tells him not to worry about it. The president says it's fine. Go home. Kai looks devastated. He thinks he failed. Poor kid. He has no idea this was the plan all along. Because I figured it out. The whole thing was a setup by the Iron Cross leadership. Think about it. They knew there was a mole. They knew the mole would need to silence the prisoner before interrogation. So they deliberately assigned a bunch of rookies to transport the prisoner through open streets, basically dangling the bait as obviously as possible. The mole took the shot. And now the leadership knows several things. The mole is still active. They have access to a skilled sniper, and the sniper's position narrows down who it could be. In a gang this size, how many members can make a 1,300-meter headshot with an alchemic round? Not many. That's a very short list to investigate. Kai is beating himself up over failing when he was actually performing his role perfectly, as bait. I look at him moping in the driver's seat and almost feel bad. Almost. But telling him, hey, you were a pawn in your boss's chess game, probably wouldn't make him feel better. The convoy rides home in gloomy silence. Everyone's mood crashed after the sniper incident. Everyone except me. In my head, I'm tallying up tonight's haul. 14 mercenary souls from the bridge fight. 1 second-tier assassin from the fighting pit. 1 second-tier mystery professional from the truck. Plus the 100,000 Liso bonus. Plus alchemy knowledge, a new language, a curved bullet technique, and enough combat experience to skip months of training. My first day. But the near-death experiences are also piling up. Bridge ambush. Sniper fire. And next time might not go so smoothly. I got lucky tonight. The enemies were aiming at someone else. The leadership showed up in time. The attacks were conventional. What about next time? What if there's no cavalry? What if someone brings an alchemic nuke to a street fight? I need to get stronger. Fast. No more waiting. No more. I'll figure out class advancement eventually. Tomorrow morning, I'm buying what I need and becoming a puppet master. Because in this world, tomorrow is not guaranteed for anyone. And every day I stay, unremarkable, is another day where a stray bullet or a random monster or a petty gang rivalry can end everything. I pat the wooden box at my hip, the one holding Pestoya's rune puppet, my class change material, and make myself a promise. By this time tomorrow, I won't be a rookie anymore. While we were riding home with long faces, somewhere in a basement near headquarters, the real story was playing out. The sniper, some young guy, was cleaning his rifle when a cloaked man walked in. Turns out the sniper wasn't the mole himself. He was a former squad member who owed the actual mole a life debt. The cloaked guy saved his life years ago, and this was the repayment. 1 shot, 1 kill, debt cleared. The young sniper knew what came next. He didn't run, didn't beg. Just said, I've paid what I owed. I have no family. Nobody will miss me. The cloaked man killed him, then stood there looking at the body with the tiniest crack in his cold expression. This world doesn't just kill people with monsters and bullets. It kills them with loyalty and debts and impossible choices. The mole didn't want to sacrifice his old teammate, but the prisoner had to die, and whoever pulled the trigger would become the obvious suspect. So he used someone disposable, someone who wouldn't be investigated because they'd already be dead. Brutal, efficient, and genuinely sad. I didn't know any of this at the time, of course. I was riding back to Green Street, mentally counting my soul-harvesting profits like a kid sorting Halloween candy. Back at base, everyone scatters. The veterans practically teleport toward the nearest bar or brothel, 100,000 LISO bonuses burning holes in their pockets. Weapons get returned, damaged vehicles go to the shop, wounded guys get sent to the mechanical clinic. Standard post-battle paperwork. These people have done this so many times it's basically muscle memory. Kai is still moping about the dead prisoner. Poor guy thinks it's his fault. I could tell him it was actually a calculated move by the leadership to flush out the mole, and that he was deliberately chosen to transport the prisoner because he's a rookie captain whose team couldn't possibly stop a professional sniper, making the bait look authentic. But I don't. Because explaining, "You were a pawn and it worked perfectly," is not comforting. Before I leave, Kai pulls me aside. "You did well tonight. Your shooting is impressive. If you're serious about becoming a professional, practice hard, and I'll put in a word with the officers. The gang will invest resources in promising members." Nice offer. Not taking it, though. I already have my class change material, Pistoia's rune puppet. I have money from selling Ivan's loot. I'm going to advance quietly, on my own terms, without becoming the gang's rising star. Rising stars get attention. Attention gets you killed. But I do have one question I've been dying to ask. Captain, about Night Angel's metal wings. If I became a professional, could I get that kind of graft blueprint? Kai's eyes light up instantly. You think those wings are cool too? Man, when I was younger, I dreamed about getting those. Flying through the air, launching feather blades at enemies. So awesome. Then his expression falls. But it's impossible. Impossible, not impossible to get the blueprint. The gang sells any blueprint in their vault to members with enough contribution points. Even the president's graft designs. But using it? That's the problem. He explains something I didn't know. Containment value. Every alchemic graft has a cursed nature. The stronger the graft, the more your body needs to resist its corruption. Your containment value equals your dark spirit power plus your professional rank. Regular people max out around 700 to 800 through basic meditation. Even talented officers barely hit 1,000. Night Angel's 1,000 kill wings is a silver grade graft. Minimum containment requirement, 900 to 1,000. Below that, and the graft's curse eats you alive, turning you into a mutant horror. I'm nodding along like this is devastating news. Meanwhile, I'm secretly checking my stat panel. Dark Spirit Power Upper Limit, 1,157. 1,157. Regular people cap at 800. Elite officers struggle to reach 1,000. I'm casually sitting at 1,157, and I haven't even been trying to raise it. Whatever breathing technique the original owner learned, this Higam breathing method is apparently not some basic training exercise. It's an elite-tier cultivation method that nobody in this gang has ever seen, which means I can equip silver-grade grafts right now, and probably even higher grades in the future as my power grows. Kai is looking at me with sympathetic eyes, thinking I'm processing disappointment. So you see why I said impossible? It's not about money or access. Your body just can't handle it. Night Angel only managed it because he spent years in high corruption zones outside the city walls, which forcibly raised his tolerance. And that method kills most people who try it. I see, I say, nodding thoughtfully. What I'm actually thinking, so I can skip everything he just described and go straight to the premium equipment. Cool. Kai then switches to helpful mentor mode, recommending realistic graft options for a gunner build. Titanium alloy eye for enhanced targeting. Dexterous hand bones for improved gun handling. Practical, affordable, boring. Blueprints usually cost 20 to 30,000. You got the bonus money, so start looking. Check the gang vault first, and if nothing fits, there's a black market in North City called Shadow Alley, where rare stuff shows up sometimes. Oh, and you should get your dark spirit power tested at headquarters. They have instruments that give you exact numbers. Yeah, I'm definitely not doing that. Walking into the testing facility and registering a containment value that's higher than most senior officers would raise every red flag in the building. My whole strategy is stay invisible. Getting measured as a hidden genius is the opposite of invisible. Sure, Captain. I'll think about it. Kai gives me his best, wise older brother, speech despite being barely older than me, and I nod along like a good student. He's a decent guy, naive about the political games his bosses are playing, but decent. In another world, we might actually be friends. I walk into the neon-soaked streets of Green Street, hands in my pockets, mind racing. Tomorrow's shopping list, graph blueprint, class advancement preparation, and whatever else I need to stop being unremarkable on my stat panel. First priority, become a puppet master. Second priority, find a graph that matches my absurdly high containment value, something these outer city guys would consider impossible to equip. Third priority, keep my head down while doing all of the above. Day 1 in Old Lingdon is finally over. I earned 100,000, absorbed almost 20 souls, learned alchemy, picked up a dead language, survived 2 ambushes, met every leader in the organization, and accidentally figured out there's a mole in the gang. If every day is like this, I'll either become the strongest person in this city or die by next Thursday. Honestly, could go either way, and I'm weirdly okay with that. Kai spent a solid 10 minutes giving me career advice that doesn't apply to me even slightly. He thinks I have a D-rank Eagle Eye talent and need help finding an affordable beginner graph blueprint. Meanwhile, I'm sitting on 2 S-rank talents, a gold-tier class change material, and a dark spirit power level that would make his senior officers cry. It's like a driving instructor carefully explaining how to start the car to someone who's secretly a Formula One driver. But he's genuinely trying to help, so I nod along like a good student. He recommends practical graphs for gunners, titanium alloy eye for targeting, dexterous hand bones for gun handling. Safe choices, boring choices, the kind of graphs that cap out at black iron grade because that's all anyone in the outer city can physically handle. Then he drops a piece of information that makes my brain light up. Containment value. This is the number that determines what grade of graph your body can handle without mutating into a horror show. Regular people max out at 700 to 800. Even elite officers barely scrape 1,000. Night Angel's silver-grade wings need at least 900 to 1,000 to equip safely. I check my stat panel. Dark Spirit Power Capacity, 1,157. I almost choke. That Hegum breathing method, the original owner learned? Apparently, it's not some basic meditation technique. It's a top-tier cultivation method that pushes your capacity way beyond normal limits. Nobody in this entire outer city comes close to my number. I could equip silver-grade graphs right now and still have headroom. Kai is looking at me with sympathetic eyes, thinking I'm processing the sad reality that cool wings are forever out of reach. So you understand why I said impossible, right? Yeah, I nod sadly. Totally impossible. I am the worst person alive. Anyway, graph shopping is a future problem. Today's priority, becoming a puppet master. I need alchemy materials to build the transformation circle for my class advancement ceremony. The next morning, well, morning, is relative in an underground city with no sun. I'm up at 6:55 a.m. while every other gang member is still past. Out in some brothel or bar. I throw on a big black overcoat, pull a round hat low over my face, and catch the steam-powered tram to North City. My destination, Shadow Alley. The black market. It's located at the intersection where all 4 city districts meet. A no-man's land that none of the 3 gangs or the city police fully control. The entrance is a sketchy little alley that leads down into a massive underground crevice in the rock. And when I say underground, I mean this place is built inside a vertical crack in the earth, with shops clinging to the walls like barnacles on a cliff face. Ancient sewer pipes jut out of the rock, and people have welded steel platforms and walkways onto them, creating a multi-level bazaar that hangs over a bottomless black void. It's like someone built a shopping mall inside a canyon and forgot to install a floor. The shops are tiny, a few square meters each, with handwritten signs and materials hanging from their doorways. Black Witch Alchemy Supply, Starlight Bookshop, Giant Mechanical Workshop, everything a professional outlaw could want. First thing I notice, the community bulletin board. One half is covered in buy requests for rare materials and coded meeting instructions. The other half is wanted posters and bounty notices. And right there, staring back at me, my face. Well, the original owner's face. Fic Rigardi, brown-haired male youth. 100,000 Liso reward for information. That's B-rank criminal bounty money. For a kid whose only crime was being born into the wrong family. I glance at it for exactly 1 second and keep walking. That poster shows a brown-haired teenager. I'm a bald, eyebrowless punk in smoky eye makeup and a trench coat. We couldn't look more different if we tried. My own mother, well, Fic's mother, wouldn't recognize me. Further down the board, I spot the crossed-out poster for Shadow Scorpion, a Burke. Dead. Confirmed. And I'm walking around with his combat memories in my brain. This world is wild. The street vendors are hilarious. Random guys sitting on dirty blankets with ancient relics they claim to have found in ruins. I scan a few with my all-knowing eye. Fake. 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 Super fake. Impressively fake. It's like a flea market for liars. Every single item is worthless junk dressed up with mysterious-looking engravings. I almost admire the hustle, but I'm not here to bargain hunt. Real supernatural items have detectable energy signatures that even amateurs can sense. If genuine relics were sitting on sidewalk blankets, every alchemy-trained hunter in the city would have already bought them. The real goods are behind shop counters, shown only to serious buyers who know how to ask. I find the shop Kai recommended, Rosen's Little Alchemy Supply, a tiny storefront with a copper bell hanging over the entrance that jingles when I squeeze through the narrow doorway. Inside, wall-to-wall glass cabinets, ceiling-to-floor cubbyholes, samples hanging from ropes overhead. An absolute cave of materials. Behind the counter, a bespectacled old man is organizing inventory. What do you need, sir? 6 white crystals, 30 grams of. The old man's eyebrows shoot up. White crystals. Sir, for a standard class advancement, regular yellow crystals with impurities are perfectly sufficient. Nobody needs high-purity whites. This is the alchemic equivalent of walking into a hardware store and asking for aerospace-grade titanium bolts to build a bookshelf. The old man thinks I misspoke. I'm certain I need white crystals. He gives me a look. The kind of look that says, "It's your money, weirdo." See, the thing is, I do need these premium materials. Regular yellow crystals work fine for standard class change ceremonies. But my rune puppet is a gold-tier class material. Gold-tier materials need gold-tier supporting components. Using cheap crystals with a premium catalyst would be like putting regular gas in a Ferrari. Technically possible, practically disastrous. The old man pulls out 6 palm-sized crystals that look like frozen starlight. Clear, flawless, beautiful. My eye confirms, high-purity white crystal. Perfect. Then I rattle off the rest of my shopping list. 15 grams of snowflake antimony. 80 milliliters of grade 4 mercury salt solution. 8 portions of refined copper powder. 200 grams of 30-year-aged lizard powder. Green gleam crystals. With each item, the old man's eyebrows climb a little higher. These are all premium materials. Way beyond what any normal outer city advancement requires. He's smart enough not to ask questions, though. Black market rule number 1. Don't pry into your customer's business. High-grade materials across the board. Most shops wouldn't have all of these in stock. Lucky for you, I just restocked. He weighs everything, packages it, and announces, 42,000 Liso total. I pull out the bonus money from literally hours ago and pay without flinching. 42,000. Kai spent 8,000 on his advancement materials. I just spent 5 times that. But every Liso is necessary. You can't build a gold-tier transformation circle with bargain bin ingredients. That's how you end up mutated, dead, or mutated and dead. The old man takes my money, probably wondering what kind of lunatic outer city punk is dropping inner city money on inner city materials. I walk out with a bag full of premium alchemy components, a head full of stolen knowledge, and a heart full of anticipation. Everything I need is ready. Class change material, gold tier rune puppet. Check. Instruction manual, carved into the wooden box. Check. Premium circle materials, just purchased. Check. Dark spirit power, way more than enough. Check. Tomorrow, Suluin, overall rating. Unremarkable, becomes Suluin, professional puppet master. And then things get really interesting. Shopping done. Time to leave the black market before someone decides my bag of expensive materials is worth more than my life. On the way out, I grab a few alchemy textbooks from a bookstore. The Book of Secrets, Natural and Secret Things, Basic Alchemy Fundamentals. Knowledge is expensive in this city. All books come from the inner city, and alchemy texts are basically luxury goods. But I need to build a proper foundation instead of relying on random dead people's fragmented memories. You can't construct a skyscraper out of puzzle pieces from different boxes. I take the steam tram back to Green Street. Now I just need a private space for the ceremony. That's when I discover the gang doesn't provide housing. No dormitories, no barracks, no apartments. Because why would they? Most gang members live at the brothel. Their home address is whichever bar they passed out in last night. I find a cheap motel, the kind of place that charges by the hour and doesn't ask questions. The walls are thin enough that I can hear everything happening in the neighboring rooms. And what's happening in the neighboring rooms is enthusiastic. The room itself is a masterpiece of filth. Stained sheets with suspicious spots that could be blood or could be worse. An inch of dust, cigarette butts, and hair under the bed. The whole place smells like mildew-married sadness, and they had a baby called despair. I'm not here to sleep, though. I'm here to become superhuman. I shove the bed aside and sweep the floor clean, clearing a 3-meter circle. Then I unpack my premium materials and get to work. 6 white crystals placed as anchor points in a hexagram pattern. Copper powder mixed with lizard powder in precise ratios, used like ink to draw the circular array. Mercury salt solution for the Ouroboros and scale symbols. Every line, every angle, every gram of material placed with surgical precision. Half an hour later, the transformation circle is complete. A gorgeous 6-pointed star drawn in shimmering metallic powders on the filthy floor of a pay-by-the-hour motel room. The contrast is almost artistic. No wonder old-school alchemists are rare. I mutter, looking at the 42,000 liso worth of materials arranged on a floor that probably hasn't been mopped since the city was founded. Every spell is basically setting money on fire. There's actually a famous saying among alchemists: there is nothing alchemy cannot do. If it can't, you're not spending enough. Spoken like true scientists. Now, the moment of truth. I pull out the wooden box. Open it. Take out the rune puppet, my gold tier class advancement material. Here's what most people in the outer city use: black iron grade materials. Mass-produced, affordable, gets the job done. If you're lucky or rich, you might find white silver grade, which is monopolized by inner city families. What I'm holding: gold grade. Ancient cursed objects that survived centuries of time. Handcrafted by master alchemists from a bygone era. The kind of thing that lets you unlock rare, special professions that normal materials can't access. Most people become generic warriors, shooters, or mechanics. I'm about to become a puppet master. A mysterious class specialty profession that probably hasn't been seen in this city for generations. Finally, I've been looking forward to this. There is a risk. If the ceremony fails, the cursed properties in the material will backlash and mutate me into something horrible. Standard occupational hazard of fantasy world job interviews. But my all-knowing I already confirmed. The circle is correctly drawn, and my body compatibility with the puppet is 93%.